From Darling Stadium, October the 10th, 2014, it's Friday Night Football on LSC, your local sports channel. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Rowe along with Frank Edgar up here in the booth, and to my left, our statistician Brent Musgrove, and on the field, as always, Bob Hintz. Bringing you tonight's game against the Phoebus Phantoms, who are 5-1, and the Bethel Bruins at 3-3. Frank, another good game?
I think so. I think we're going to see the Bethel Bruins, who come in with that 3-3 record, play good football. They've done it every other week this year, and I know Coach Hooker will have these young men ready to play what has become a very formidable Phoebus Phantom team.
Every other week. So you're telling me that tonight is the other week where Bethel is the team to watch tonight?
Certainly, if you're a pattern person, this is the night for the W for Bethel, and they seem to be ready to go tonight. I know Coach Hooker has been reluctant to say that, and we'll hear a little bit, hopefully, from him more here as he gets interviewed. But I think we'll see Bethel play better ball tonight than they did last week. We saw them with a tough outing against Kickingham Warriors, who many consider one of the best teams, if not the best team in the Peninsula District. Right,
and last week we saw, and you just saw number 5 talking about patterns. There was a pattern there with the quarterback, Bo Morgan, number 5 for Bethel, who really began to sort of come into his own in terms of running. He reminded me a little bit about Jovan Quillen of Hampton, the way he was running the ball the other night. So I think we'll see more of that tonight as well. And hopefully, as you said, we'll see a little bit better defense from the Bethel Bruins tonight.
I think so. I know they're ready to go. They look good early in warm-up, so I think they're ready to go.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. On the other side, we have Phoebus.
Good-looking program. We've seen both teams play once already this year, and we saw Phoebus defeat Hampton. I believe the final was 19-8. That 8-point score by the Crabbers late in the game. Great running back in Jamari Becknell. We've seen good quarterback from Justin Wright. We've seen a real good defense, a very young Phoebus Phantom team this year. I believe only 4 seniors on the defense and maybe just 2 or 3 starting on the offense. So a young program from and Coach Blunt's got those young men ready. So I think we'll see a strong performance by the Phantoms. It should be a very good high school football game tonight.
It should be, and it ought to be decent weather, as you can see right there on the screen. The overcast clouds a little bit, making it kind of nice. A little warm at 78 degrees, but a nice night for football. As always, we've got a beautiful field, and we've got 2 teams ready to go. And going back to Phoebus, you mentioned Becknell. I really, really saw him come into his own the other game. He began to carry that ball a lot, and he began to find his holes, follow his blockers, which really was impressive as far as I'm concerned, the way he followed the blockers, picked the seams and the holes, and hit those quickly.
And when he got through the line against the Crabbers, there was nobody that could even touch him. He had 3 long runs in that game. I thought he played very well, and I think we'll see the same thing tonight. The Bruins are going to have to shore up their defensive line and put a stop on him.
No question about that. Defense has always been a key, and for Phoebus, we saw last time against Hampton a defense that all of a sudden stepped up and really they just put a lock on that Hampton offense. And you know as well as I do, the Hampton offense was very potent before that. But once that defense stepped up, boom, that was it. Speaking about defenses right now, we're going to send it down to Bob Hintz on the field, where he has the coach from the Phoebus Phantoms, Jeremy Blunt.
Thanks, guys. Jeremy Blunt, head coach at Phoebus High School. And I asked somebody, I said, how long do you think Jeremy's been here? He said, 6 years. I said, no, 2.5.
Actually, I have been here 6 years. I've just been the head coach for 2.5 years. Yes, sir.
Okay, now these guys you've had when you were the head JV coach, so they know only you.
Correct. These guys, we basically started off our careers here at Phoebus, and, the seniors right now, these group of kids, they know me and me alone. So pretty good year, pretty good guys, good experience getting out here. We're having getting that youth out of us. We're having a good season so far.
Well, 5-1, that's a great season so far. Talk a little bit about your 2 running backs, and I want Jamari Becknell. I mean, both of these kids are good, but he's not a bad young running back.
Well, Jamar's really started to turn it up. Breon, the addition of Breon in the backfield, getting him back nice and healthy. He's really transformed our offense in reference to being that power team. They contrast one another very well. Jamari's been able to open up some things with his speed and athleticism, and then Breon comes in and he's able to wear you down. So we really like the production that we're getting from the backfield right now.
That was my question was, is they complement each other. And that's got to help your offensive line to know that they've got two guys back there. If I give them a crease, they're going to take it.
Absolutely. I mean, you have one guy who loves to stick his nose in there, and then you have another guy who can squeeze through any little hole, and, he can take it the distance if you don't put a body on him. So we really love what we're getting right now. The offensive line, they stay motivated to block for these two kids. Two very selfless individuals, and that's the thing about those kids. They're all about the team.
Well, this is something that go back to Bill D. There's no I in team. And one thing I've always noticed about the Phoebus guys is they help each other. They play as a team.
Team me, that's our motto. It has been since before I played there, so it's something that I was raised in within the system. It's something that we will never leave as long as I'm here, and any coach that's ever been affiliated with the program is here. That's what we believe. You put the team before yourself and great things will happen.
All right, talk a little bit about Justin Wright. Young man's a quarterback. There's a lot of good quarterbacks in the league, but he's not a bad one.
No, Justin's really started to pick it up. His confidence has really turned up. He's able to do certain things in that back under the center that we really enjoy. He's a Phoebus kid. He's been here since 8th grade, so he's born and raised in the system. So it's his time, and he's really showing that.
Well, I talked to his dad earlier, and his dad played over to Hampton, and he said Mike wants to know where his loyalty is. So it's got to be where your boy plays.
The kid loves blue and gold, and that's the truth since his 8th grade year. So he's having a phenomenal year right now. He's really starting to develop and come into his own, and we really like the future with him under center.
Last question, Coach. I know that Bethel got blown out last week, but you can't take them lightly, can you?
Well, you can't take any team in this district lightly. Teams are going to come to play week in and week out. These kids grew up playing against each other, so we know we're going to get a physical game tonight. And our kids, like I told them all week, we got to be ready to play. These guys right now, they have the nothing to lose attitude, so why not? So we got to come out there and we got to remind them. So it's got to be a physical game tonight.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Good. Let's go on back up to the guys.
All right, thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. Jeremy Blunt, coach of the Phoebus Phantoms, a real young team, as he noted, a team whose defense is beginning to gel and whose quarterback is also beginning to gel right now. I've been very impressed with how the defense has been coming along.
Well, it is scary to think they're talking about a tandem of running backs, and one of the tandem is the leading rusher in the league, running for 124 yards a game. So look for Becknell and some others tonight.
Some others, but Becknell mostly. All right, right now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to tell you who the referees are for tonight's game. And there are the guys in stripes right there. And, Frank, tell us who the refs are going to be tonight.
Well, the veteran crew tonight, Alan Denton is the referee, Bill Allen the umpire, Sergio Jimenez is the linesman, the line judge, Frank Burton, Hayward Goolsby is the field judge, side judge, Rob Calloway, and the back judge, Kenny Hayes. So a good crew for what's going to be a good game.
A very good crew, and the man on the left there in the white hat, Alan Denton, I used to babysit for him when he was a child, and I even taught his son in school, and I've known the family for a long, long time, and he's now the head ref on many of the crews that come up here at the game. They do a fantastic job, as I always say. They have a little bit better view than we do from down there.
Well, you and I both have been on the sidelines the last couple of weeks, and it is a great view of a game. So if you love sports and you want to find a role in it, being an official is a great way to do it.
It really is, but it's a tough one to do. Yeah. All right. Right now we're going to go back down the field where we're going to have Brent Musgrove. He's going to have Coach Bubba Hooker from the Bethel Bruins.
Thanks, guys. Of course, I'm here with head coach Bubba Hooker of the Bethel Bruins. Coach, come in tonight 3-3, 3-2. We were talking earlier in the week, and thanks for putting up with me again over there on a Wednesday. After last week's game, which surprised so many people, how did the kids respond in practice this week?
We had a good week of practice. I mean, we tried not to, live or die with winning and losing. Certainly, it's important. That's the reason you play the game, is to be victorious or be successful. But we try to tell the kids, take every day, one day at a time, just like life. Try to compete, overcome adversity. We didn't play very well based on the scoreboard, but as long as our young men are getting better each day and competing to the best of their ability, that's all we can ask. I mean, if they're, if the other team is better than we are, then it's going to be hard to be successful. But if they're playing to the best of their ability, then that's important.
All right, to go on to tonight's game, is there anything in particular that in practice you stressed this week in preparing for Phoebus that you see a little bit more attention needed to be paid?
Well, just like I said, it's competing. Win the one-on-ones. Phoebus does a lot of kick-out blocks with the tight end. with the fullback and with the guard pulling, and our ends have got to be able to take that on, and our defensive backs have got to be able to cover their receivers. I mean, it's fundamentals. We work on the fundamentals every day, and that's why we feel like that we're getting better, even though the scoreboard may not indicate that sometimes.
Coach, let me ask you about a couple of players that we had talked about before. Let me ask first about junior tackle number 59, Ricks. Can you tell us a little bit about this young man?
Yeah, well, we had his brother Kevin, who's a good football player as well. But Corey is an excellent football player. If he keeps working hard, he's got a chance to play at the next level because of his size and quickness, and he's got good feet. He's a two-way player for us. We try to give him a break as much as we possibly can. But Corey is an excellent football player.
I'm going to go one more a little bit different. Number 6, Aaron Edwards, outside linebacker. What's this young man mean to your team?
Aaron's a good football player. He's played well this year. He plays outside linebacker. He does a good job on contain, and we feel like that he's got a chance to compete and be competitive. His grades are good, just like Corey's, so that's always important. And both of them are excellent young men.
Well, Coach, last question, so I'll let you get back. And thanks again for coming over. Having looked at the films and probably scouted Phoebus, how do you feel your matchup might be tonight, and what's your best shot for a matchup with Phoebus tonight?
Well, we hope that our kids will play to the best of their ability, and we hope maybe that Phoebus won't play quite as well as they have been. Phoebus has a good football team. There's no question about that. So, it's going to be a challenge, and one that we feel like our young men are looking forward to.
Coach, I want to thank you again so much for letting me come over and harass you a little bit on Wednesdays and getting
No
all
problem.
the information.
It's always good seeing you.
Thanks, Coach. Okay, guys, back up to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Brent. Whoa. Kind of getting away from us with the wind here. Coach Bubba Hooker of the Bethel Bruins. Bethel with a little bit of a tough job tonight, but if anybody can bring them back, Coach Hooker can. These kids are young. They're pliable. They'll bounce back after that tough loss last week, and he'll get them going, I think.
Well, he's been able to do that, Paul. He's been able to do that this season. They just haven't had the consistency I know he's tried to instill in them. I've been very impressed with Coach Hooker over the past few years. His focus on the preseason camps and the academic work he does with his team. And the football team's starting to resemble him now. I think they're coming into their own. They've had they got a good quarterback, big quarterback. Bo Morgan, a big young man, 6 foot 4 inches tall, terrific passer. He's been a little bit inaccurate. That's his the only problem he's had so far this season. But I think he can really he can shine in a night like tonight. If he throws away from Phoebus' strong side, which would be where Robbie Robinson is, I think he can be successful. Running back Quentin Lee having a great year. Did not play very well last week, but didn't have a lot of room to run. As you mentioned early in the broadcast, Bo Morgan ended up looking like Javon Quillen in Hampton last week, doing a lot of the running on his own. Lee really couldn't get any start. So I think we'll see more of Quentin Lee tonight, and I think we'll see those good receivers, Brown and Chisley for Bethel. I predict they will play much better tonight against a very good opponent.
Yeah, and they're going to have to get Quentin running a whole lot more tonight because they don't want to focus it just strictly on Morgan, because I think Phoebus' defense will shut him down if he tries to run. So they've got to get Quentin Lee running. Like I said, he's very quick. He's a very good back. So if they get him going, they're going to do real well. Their defense is going to have to shut this powerful Phoebus offense down, and that's going to be a tough job because they had a tough time with Kickotan last week. But again, a week of practice can change a team real quickly. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I'll give you an idea, Paul. Phoebus has given up 25 points in Peninsula District contests. They've given up 60-some points overall, but 42 were against Lake Taylor. So 25 points, and they've only been scored on in 2 of the 5 games. So what a tough defense they have this year.
They do, and they're just going to get better as the year goes on because that's what Phoebus does. They get better and better and better and better. There you see a shot of the Bethel cheerleaders on the field, a beautiful field this evening. A nice night, a little warm, but it's pretty good. I'm sorry, that was Phoebus. I thought that was Bethel.
Every now and then we get a nice cool breeze through the window here, so it's a nice night to play football.
All right, let's go back down to Brent and Bob as they wrap things up on the field for us tonight. Bob and Brent.
Thanks again, guys. Bob, here we are, Game 6. Season's starting to shape out a little bit and seeing what we're seeing. After last week's game, Kickotan and Bethel, I have to be honest with you, I was a little bit worried about Bethel being able to motivate themselves to get into this game, because when you come off of Kickotan and have a loss like that, and you're coming in playing Phoebus knowing what they've been doing. It's a little tough trying to get a team like that motivated.
Well, and it's always going to be, it's tough to get a team motivated, but you got to go back and understand that these are just youngsters, and you don't know what happened, why they played the way they did. But you and I both said there's no way the Bethel is that bad a team to get beat that bad by Kickingham. I'm not taking anything away from Kickingham. They look fantastic. But I look at the team we got tonight, and Phoebus cannot key on Quentin Lee running the ball. We saw what happened when Bo Morgan decided to chuck the ball and run.
Yeah, that was a game changer last week for Bethel. That gave them a firing point. They couldn't seem to get anything going. All of a sudden, Bo decided he'd just take it on himself, and he had 3 first downs in a row once he took over and got him moving down for their first score.
Well, and because they weren't expected, and they come off of a beating a Heritage, which was an undefeated team at the time, and then to come in and it was like a big letdown. And I don't expect that tonight, and neither does the coaching staff over at Phoebus. And I talked to Jeremy Blunt, and I said, well, Jeremy, I really like the way your defense has been playing. They did a great job against Hampton, shutting down Wilkins. I said, who's your defensive coordinator? This is me. So, okay. But you and I both saw that game and were really impressed.
Yes, we were. Let's talk a little bit about tonight. I'm kind of impressed with some of the statistics here. You got Bo Morgan coming in, the second-ranked quarterback in the district, and he comes in with the 4th-ranked running back and the 4th-ranked receiver out there as weapons for him. And then you turn around and you look at Phoebus, and what do you got? You got a guy that's his quarterback's on the rate number 5, but guess what? He's only thrown 41 times, completed 50%. And he's got the number 1 ranked rusher in the district and the number 3 ranked receiver. So
that's the Nelson kid that transferred up here from Florida, and he's just really getting acclimated to the system. But he had 182 yards on 4 catches last week. I mean, wow, that's a season for some people.
Yeah, that's a daily walk for me, and that's what I'm doing to trying to lose weight. Now, I'm going to throw this back to you, Dad. My biggest concern tonight is, like I talked about, is motivation. I think Bethel's got to concentrate on trying to stop at least one facet of Phoebus' offense because they're so balanced. Special teams, passing, running the ball, and their defense. So they've got to concentrate stopping one facet of Phoebus' offense and hoping that they can get him shook up and make a mistake on the other side.
I think the key goes back to the trenches on defense. Bethel has got to play a better defensive game than they played last week.
Absolutely.
If they do that and they can stop either Baskerville or Becknell, one of those two, you're not going to stop them both. But if you can stop one of them, put the pressure on the other one. But then we watch Jason Wright put the ball in the guy's belly, act like he's going to run and throw a little dump pass for a touchdown to Robbie Robinson. So, you know, you got 3 guys you got to concentrate on.
It's going to be a good game tonight, Bob. I'm looking forward to it. All right, why don't you take it and throw it home?
Listen, for tonight, we've got a game that you don't know what's going to happen, but don't be surprised if Bethel shows some spirit tonight because they're recognized in the 1974 state championship team.
Can you remember that far back?
I was there. I was there. I think Noah was with me. Anyway, stay tuned for our catering sponsor.
We have the game tonight brought to you by the Grey Goose in downtown Hampton. A delicious place to eat, wonderful place. And tonight is the Everybody Loves Lucy murder mystery dinner. So it's Everybody Loves Lucy, but apparently somebody. That's tonight, the first showing at 7:30 tonight, so that crowd will have to watch it on the later broadcast. And then tomorrow, 5:30 and 7:30, down at the Grey Goose. Great place to go get a lunch. Chicken salad sandwiches are delicious. We had barbecue a couple weeks ago. It's my favorite. Go see Dana and Phil Epstein. Phil's birthday today. Happy birthday, Phil, and thank you for your support of our broadcast. The Grey Goose in downtown Hampton.
Yeah, and did you get the food tonight?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
was it good?
Man, yeah. Yes, it was. I had 2. I'm sorry.
Good answer, by the way.
Yeah, well, it was. Sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, and they were delectable, delicious. The bread is to die for. It's to die for. And Smithfield ham, folks. I don't know if you probably lived here long enough. You've had Smithfield ham, if I could talk. And it was delicious.
And Smithfield ham will take the moisture out of your mouth.
Oh, yes, it
delicious.
will, in a heartbeat.
Go down and see Phil and Dana this weekend, and go see who doesn't like Lucy tomorrow night, 5:30 and 7:30.
And watch the Bethel Bruins as they come onto the field here for this game. And across the way in just a few moments, you're going to see the Phoebus Phantoms as they come out Their mascot all excited for the team.
I thought for a minute it was Daquan Romero, the old Phoebus Phantom who's here from UVA.
Yeah.
He'll be joining us, we hope, a little later. For Daquan, of course, went up and played is playing at University of Virginia.
And they've got a little bit of a bye this week.
They got a bye this week, and he apparently has been to the weight room a couple times in Charlottesville, and hopefully we'll get to show you him later on. One of the best tacklers, one of the best players ever here in the Peninsula District.
Those guys really beef it up when they get to the pros because they really get into the workout regimen and everything else. It's my son, as you know, went to UVA. One of his friends was Heath Miller, who was a tight end and is a tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he came back one year to a party or something they had there, the Strawberry Fields or something. Yeah. And Sean couldn't believe how big Heath had gotten from that regimen. All right, down on the field, there you see the meeting of the captains. Shortly, we're going to go down to the field for the toss of the coin. Bethel wearing the green jerseys tonight, and Phoebus in their white jerseys. There you see Alan Denton, the head ref, and the coin toss.
I know captains of both sides are going to keep their teams in check. If you all can't keep your teams in check, which is not going to happen, then we start to. They look up to you. I know you all did something on the field, off the field, where your coaches chose you all to be captains. I want to see it tonight. We've already done the pregame toss, so we're going to tell everybody that Phoebus has won the toss and elected to defer their option to the second half.
There we go.
Phoebus has won the toss, deferred their option to the second half. And then you said you wanted the ball. And then you said you wanted to kick the ball in this direction.
The Bethel Captains
So
will be
you're
getting
turning
the
back
ball in
this
the
way,
first
Phoebus
half.
turning back that way.
Already had an incident this year, I believe, Paul, in college where somebody deferred and decided they would, they took the end of the field when they ended up having to kick off both halves. I think it was, I won't say Texas.
They took the end of the field?
Yeah, they took the end of the field, made a mistake, and
wow, must have been a very windy day.
So Bethel's going to receive tonight. See the Bethel offense for you. There they are there. Your big player there, number 9, Quentin Lee, in running back. And, of course, we've already talked about Bo Morgan, number 5 at quarterback. Can't miss him. Good wide receivers, Darrell Brown, T.C. Chisley, and Ian Bell. The center, Drew Barker. The tackles, Philip Howard and Corey Ricks. And the guards, Travis Maxwell and Rodney Addison. And then Joshua Wusu at flanker.
Joshua who?
Joshua Wusu.
Wusu. Interesting.
There's several Wusus there. Phoebus defense, a couple familiar names. Harry Lewis, of course, the tackle headed to Virginia Tech. He's joined by Andrew McKenzie, then Mylan Willis, Andre Smith at the ends. The linebacker, Jacques Moore Roberts, Breon Baskerville. Peyton Ryder gets a start, the freshman at the linebacking core. And then, of course, the corner, the all-star corner, Robbie Robinson, joined by Marcus Lewis on the other side, Elijah Nelson, and Chris Willis in the safety spots.
Keep your eye on number 2, Robbie Robinson. Good young player. He's going to. I imagine you'll see him both sides of the ball tonight.
Absolutely.
He's that good. Well, here they go, ladies and gentlemen. They're getting ready.
This is Tompkins, I believe. Stephen Tompkins kicking off for the Phantoms.
Back deep looks like Darrell Brown, number 10 for Phoebus. For Bethel. Here comes the kickoff. It'll go to the left-hand side where it's picked up by number 22 for the Bethel Bruins. I'll have to get a name on that for you there, Frank.
Good run. That's DeAndre Gillis. Running the ball back, giving the Bruins good starting field position.
So here we go, folks. Darling Stadium, October the 10th, and you're watching the Phoebus Phantoms and the Bethel Bruins. The Bethel Bruins will be going from the right to the left on your screen, and Phoebus will be on the left-hand side. Bo Morgan, number 5, the quarterback for the Bethel Bruins, brings his team up. Given to, looks like a number, is that number 2?
No, I believe Quentin Lee on the carry.
Lee.
Tried to get by, but number 55 for the Phantoms, Mylan Willis, had him by the waist and didn't let him get but a yard down the field. Good play by Willis. He kind of held him up while everybody else was able to bring him down.
Bring it down. It's something we talked about before, bringing people down on the field. You're going to see a lot of people hitting, but very few of them wrapping.
Hey, call it hot.
Nature of the game today, both in college and in high school. Morgan takes it, hands it again to Quentin Lee, number 9, who tries to get around the right-hand side, and it looks like he'll get close to the original line of scrimmage. Looks like we have one of the refs get hit there at the end.
That's the freshman Peyton Ryder on the tackle, number 42, 5'10", 190-pound linebacker. He'll get a few carries tonight at fullback as well.
3rd and long, a passing situation for the Bethel Bruins as Morgan comes up out of the shotgun. Morgan drops back, looking to pass. He's being rushed. He throws it out into the flats to number 27. And that is a name that I don't have here. I don't have a number 27. Do you have a 27 over there?
No.
And the announcer next door is not finding it either.
We're going to get that for you. Good reception. You notice the receivers we talked about earlier. Brown ahead of him. And the receiver comes out and gets behind it. You see Brown at the bottom of the screen. There's a little screen pass over to the Bruin receiver. And a good run right into the, pushes the crowd back about 4 yards.
Good looking young runner there. Whoa. Handoff to Quentin Lee, and he is wrapped up quickly by the Bethel Bruin, the Phoebus defense.
Tyquan Johnson on the stick there. Nice play, plug in the hole. You know, they've run Lee now 3 times. They're trying to find an opening for him, and I think Bubba Hooker will stick with that and keep trying to find the holes for his tailback.
I agree with you there. As I said, they're going to have to get Lee some running room. They're going to have to open up Bo Morgan. They're going to need him to throw some. They're going to need him to do that quarterback draw, but they're going to have to establish that with Quentin Lee. 2nd and long again. And we've got a whistle.
Before the play, delay a game, offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
Yeah, not what Coach Hooker wants to see in the first drive of the game.
And Bo Morgan didn't look too happy about that either. But 5 more yards they've got to make up now from their own 44-yard line, 2nd and 16.
Deshaun Pope, by the way, number 27 for the Bruins tonight.
Pope. Looks like you've got a passing situation here. Morgan's back. He's getting pressured real bad. He'll get out of the pocket, come up the middle. He'll get to the midfield, and he keeps going. He slipped the tackle. Once again, we were talking about it, Frank. They're not trying to tackle him. They're just riding him from the top. And you've got to get down low on these guys. And Morgan, 6'5", he just pulled right out of there.
That's Baskerville on the tackle. Marcus Lewis helped him there at the end after Peyton Ryder hit him and couldn't bring him down. It's a good play by Morgan. Reads it well. All his receivers covered, so he gets to the line. Ryder misses the tackle there, but the veteran Baskerville on his feet brings him down. Breon Baskerville's a name we've called on the Phantoms now for 4 years, and terrific young man. Plays both ways this year. You heard Bob talking to Coach Blunt about the way he's played in the backfield.
Back to pass is Morgan. He's looking over the middle, can't find anybody. Gets pushed out of the pocket, rolls to his left, and fires way downfield. And almost had a man, but through the wrong side of him. The receiver had to try and turn around for that one. Couldn't quite do it.
Yeah, but he was able to position himself to draw the pass interference penalty. The ball was over the receiver's head. We're going to see if they'll say it was catchable. It was, because they're going to give the penalty on the Phantoms, and that moves the Phantoms back and the Bruins forward, gives them a 1st down.
Well, that's one way to get your 1st down, that's for sure.
Defense, pass interference, 15 yards from the previous spot. The result, 1st and 10, Bethel.
That's just good hustle by the receiver there. It's Chisley, I think it was T.C. Chisley. As he's able to come across, he sees his quarterback in some distress. He raises a hand, and that allows the quarterback, Morgan, just to lob it over his head. He had a good shot at it, but in going back for the pass, it was over his head. He bumped into the defender, and the defender gets called for the penalty. So 1st down for the Bruins. Well, good handoff that time to Lee, and once again, Phantoms number 62, Tyquan Johnson in the backfield, practically able to meet the ball carrier as soon as he gets the ball, but not able to bring down the tackle. I heard the coaches over my head complaining about Johnson, but he was in the backfield. Good plays. He slowed down the runner, and they're able to hold Lee to another yard. I think he's carried it now 4 or 5 times and picked up only a yard apiece.
Yeah, we'll find out real shortly how many yards he has and how many times he's carried the ball. Bethel now with a 2nd and 9 from about the 29-yard line as they're driving toward the goal. Morgan gets the ball. He's dropping back, looking again to pass, looking to the left. Can't find anyone. Takes it. He's got some room if he'll take it to the right side. He does to the 20, the 15. Down to the 15-yard line goes Bo Morgan. He'll pick up the first down and then some. And Bethel now in good shape as they get closer and closer to that end zone on their first drive.
That time a 4-man rush, Paul, and yet Morgan's able to slip out of the pocket. And once again, Peyton Ryder, the freshman linebacker, his job to watch Morgan. And then once again, Morgan able to sidestep him and pick up a few more yards and the first down. That's a tough assignment, man-to-man there in an open field against somebody as talented as Bo Morgan.
It is, especially someone as quick as he moves for someone 6'5". This time he flips it over to number 9, and that's Quentin Lee. He tries the left side, and the Phantoms stop him from going around there.
Well, good block by Darrell Brown, who's one of the top receivers in the district. That time, his block freed up his running back. Good pitch to Lee. They're trying to get that ball to Lee any way they can, and that's a good play right there. We're going to see it again here. Good pitch to Lee. You may see the block right there in the background, number 10 on the corner. Morgan now with 2 carries and 25 yards. Lee 5 carries for 6 yards, plus that one right there.
Tells you something.
So yeah, but he's starting to pick up more yards per carry.
Somebody moved somewhere. We'll find out which side it was.
Before the play,
there you go.
Coachman, defense, 5 yards penalty, still 2nd down.
Well, this is a good series for Bethel at the beginning of this game, the first time they touch the ball. This has got to do tremendous amounts of confidence for them.
Well, they certainly didn't move the ball this well last week, so you're right. This will give them some confidence in this game.
All right, 2 receivers split to the top of your screen. Bo Morgan takes it. He gives it right off to number 9, Quentin Lee. This time he picks up a few more yards, and he's down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, that time I believe it was number 59 for Bethel, Corey Ricks, who put the block on Harry Lewis and held him just long enough to get the back by him. And Lewis actually comes off of his block and makes the tackle, but it's a good block anytime you can get Harry Lewis to just hold him for a minute. It was 77, my fault, Travis Maxwell with the block that time.
Quentin Lee again, and this time he's not denied as he gets hit 2 or 3 times and continues to roll until he gets into the end zone. So Bethel striking first here.
That's a sophomore center, Drew Barker, and then Rodney Addison and Phillip Howard, the senior guards, and tackle Corey Ricks, a junior, and Travis Maxwell. Great push by the Bethel offensive line to literally push the defensive line of Phoebus back into the end zone and allow the touchdown.
A good first drive for the Bethel Bruins against the Phoebus Phantoms.
It's Chase Deaton, the senior kicker for the Bruins.
5'9". And we're going to get a whistle.
I won't say too much time.
Yes.
Before the play, false start.
Yeah, false start.
Offense, 5-yard
Make a
penalty,
little challenge for
still a point
Deaton.
after touchdown.
I was with you on that. I would have guessed too much time.
So Deaton's going to have to kick it 5 yards further.
Which shouldn't be any problem.
Kiss of death, by the way.
I know.
For any kicker. If it's Adam Vinatieri, you don't say that.
I know.
Vinatieri is, 58 years old now, still kicking in the NFL.
It's down. The kick is and it's blocked. There it is. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Just ruined it there. Number 2, Robbie Robinson. Who else?
Yes.
really all-state performer Robbie Robinson, now a junior.
Junior, finally.
I know. He's been in Phoebus for several years, but young man is a great football player.
And a very smart young man as well.
Show the touchdown here, Paul. See the handoff there to Lee, but the line, it's hard to see there, but 59, see the push there by number 59, Corey Ricks. I think Bob has a comment on that. Bob, what do you think?
Hey, guys, listen, I'm going to tell you something about this Quentin Lee. I don't know how many times he got hit and then made more yards after he got hit. Robbie Robinson, great job of blocking that kick, but this sets a tone for Bethel. They need to score. They were helped by a couple of penalties, but you got to like the hitting out here. But Phoebus has got to wrap up when they tackle. They tackle, and the guy still picked up 4 and 5 more yards.
Yeah, and what we liked also, Bob, was the fact that we both commented that in order for Bethel to do anything, they're going to have to get Quentin Lee running. And they stayed with him, even after, 5 or 6 runs, Frank?
Yeah.
He only had 5 or 6 yards, but they kept with him, and it paid off big time for the Bethel Bruins as they take a 6-0 lead here with 5:30 left in the first quarter.
A touchdown drive, 9 plays in 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so they ate up a lot of clock. 4-yard touchdown for Lee.
Here's the kick.
And it looks like Robinson.
He'll ski through the line. He breaks a couple of tackles and finds a seam, gets down to about the 39, 40-yard line. Well, they'll have it 1st and 10.
Robinson, I know it's Robinson, even though it's hard to see the number from here. If you can't really see him, it's Robbie Robinson.
It's his hair, I think.
That's the only way I pick him out of the crowd because he's extremely fast.
All right, and the lineups here for who is it going to be first? It'll be Phoebus.
Phoebus. Well, you look at the center, Corbin Doggett, of course, the veteran, Harry Lewis at guard, along with Tyquan Johnson, Anthony Davila at tackle, along with Anton Leroy's, Andre Smith, the tight end, Marlon Carter, the X, Joe Addison, the former Crabber, now second-year Phantom. At the Z, Jalen Holloway, the fullback, gets the start tonight. Jamari Becknell is, of course, the top runner in the league. Justin Wright at quarterback. Looks like they stopped. I think it was Becknell right there.
Yep.
Stop. The Z and the X. Let's see what the defense for the Bethel Bruins. Ian Bell, Aaron Edwards at the outside linebacker, Desmond Denny at the inside, along with Quentin Lee. The line, Braden Slade, Josh Williams. And in the corners, T.C. Chisley,
Blocking below the
along
waist.
with Joshua Owusu.
Offense.
Safety Jeremiah Owusu, and the guards, the inside guys. Excuse me, I missed that last name. That was Hagens, I believe. Josh Hagens and Corey Ricks make up the rest of the defense. Well, Bethel's moving the ball this time on defense. They move it back against Phantoms.
But it'll still be first down for the Phantoms.
And 25.
Justin Wright brings him out with 3 receivers to the bottom of the screen, and he puts it in the air deep to Robbie Robinson, and he was open, but the pass was just over his head. Frank, if he'd have got that, there'd have been nobody between him and the goal.
He went by the line like they were standing still. He made one move, and he had broke, and there was no safety back there, and they're going to have to rethink that defense.
Yes, they are.
That's a great play by Jeremy Blunt, who saw the defense, saw the man-to-man on Robinson. I don't think there's anybody in the league that can cover him man-to-man, so Bethel's going to have to drop somebody back.
Here they come again. Robbie Robinson coming to the near side of your screen in the slot there. Justin Wright, your quarterback. Becknell, Wright back to pass. Can't find anybody. Gets pressured into the pocket, and he's going to get dropped and loses the ball, but I think he was down.
That's a great tackle out there. We'll get the number 7, Brandon Slade. See him stick his hand right on the ball and popped it loose, but fortunately for the Phantoms, quarterback was down, but it was a great tackle. Reached around, grabbed him by the ball, and pulled him down.
Yeah, good coverage by the Bethel defense that time, as Wright couldn't see anybody out there.
Here you see it here. He's got to scramble. Good coverage. You see him grab right there. Got the ball and the man. Good tackle that time by Brandon Slade.
3rd and very long this time for the Phantoms. A definite passing situation deep in their own territory. They'll have 2 to the near side, 1 in the slot, 1 in the back. And he gives it to Becknell, and Becknell is dropped for what appears to be another loss. And we are seeing a fired-up defense here by the Bethel Bruins.
Josh Hagan's got him by the feet, pulled him down. A great play by the defensive lineman. Well, the Bruins obviously watching a little film, and they're shoring up the hole. There's no holes in the line so far.
Doing a great job.
And number 10, Elijah Nelson on now the punt.
Elijah Nelson back to punt for the Phantoms. I can't get anybody right tonight.
Nelson, one of the top receivers in the league now. The punter tonight. Very nearly blocked.
Low punt.
That's Brown, Darrell Brown.
Brown crosses midfield and gets down to just inside the 40-yard line. Call it about the 39. Let's see where they mark it. Looks like they're going to mark it about 38. So nice return.
Well, Bethel winning the field position game so far here in the first quarter.
So far, things are looking very, very good for the Bethel Bruins tonight.
Well, this is the team we saw earlier this year knock off some pretty good competitors. And they beat Heritage a couple weeks ago.
Yes, they did.
Again, they're on week. It seems like an on-week, off-week, but the schedule is it's helter-skelter in the league. You get some teams that play all winning teams for the first 5 games, and then you have some that play some of the weaker teams to start. Bethel's going back and forth.
We've got another flag here.
Before the play, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Bethel moving the ball without even having to snap it there.
Phoebus having a little bit of problem with penalties early in this game as we've got 3:16 left in the first quarter here at Darling Stadium.
Nice fall night for football. It's turned into a beautiful evening. Hit some rain earlier this afternoon. That's supposed to hold off. 4 penalties so far for the Phantoms, minus 40 yards.
Tight packed offense for the Bethel Bruins. Back to pass, Morgan looking deep, going way deep. Oh! Wow.
That's a tough no call out there, but again, it's the same concept. The receiver has to go to the ball and had to go through the defender. That time, Darrell Brown knocked down. Incidental contact.
Long pass by Bo Morgan,
who had more time that time, Paul, than he's had. He's starting to get more and more time, and we're only toward the end of the first quarter, but the line seems to have shored itself up.
Well, they've got to start worrying about Quentin Lee running the ball right now. Morgan gets it. Speaking of Quentin Lee, he gets it, and he's going to pile in and gets down near the 30-yard line.
Now that time, Peyton Ryder, the freshman linebacker, stepped up and kept the play inside. That was a very good, not a freshman play. That was a senior-type play right there as he steps up, forces the running back inside where he's got help. You'll see Lee trying to go out, and then he's got to come back, and there's Ryder just missing him. And a good arm there. As you can see, number 62, Taekwon Johnson, who's played very well so far. He had a hold of the jersey.
He wasn't going to let go of that one, was he? 2 slots, Morgan back, looking deep again, can't find anybody, pressured. He's going to get hit, and he's going to get dropped around the 35, 36-yard line.
That's good coverage sack by the Phoebus defense. Seemed to be only 3 receivers out, yet Morgan couldn't, and of course, makes you outnumbered in the receiver corps. Number 27, Deshaun Pope, trying to come across the middle, couldn't get open. So the Bruins are going to have to punt. I've seen Quentin Lee stay back and lay a block on the late rusher. He's done a good job, but even with that good block this time, Morgan didn't have enough time to throw the pass.
Chase Deaton to punt. On count for the Bruins. Woodson. Kick is high, not that deep. It'll bounce toward Robinson. He'll let it go. And, let's see where they mark it here.
We'll mark it on the 1.
Called one, I think one called it into the end zone there. Oh, now they're marking it on the 1.
Well, the Bethel player picked it up, kind
Right, I
of
saw
picked it
that.
up and ran it into the end zone.
I saw that, but I saw the ref
he
on the
touched
far
it,
side
yeah.
give the down in the end zone sign.
So Phoebus' job made even tougher.
1 minute, 22 seconds left in the first quarter. Bethel with a 6-0 lead over the Phoebus Phantoms.
That was Kickintan last week. We saw start from the 2-inch line and go 99 and 10 inches and score. Let's see if the Bethel defense can do a better job this week from the same spot.
Justin Wright hands it off to Becknell, I believe.
It was.
And he'll try and punch out some breathing room.
Corey Ricks with the tackle there. The line for Bethel seems to be wrapping up the legs of the running back pretty well. That time Becknell picked up a few. To hold him to 4 is a good job. Man,
yes,
it averages 124 yards a game.
Yeah, be careful you don't allow any creases for him because he'll see it, he'll find it, and he'll go. We saw his speed before. Justin Wright, under center, flips it out to Becknell. He tries the left-hand side, and he's going to get knocked down. And they're going to call it down at about the 1.
Just about great. You saw that all those green jerseys over there.
Yeah.
No place for Becknell to go.
It looked like he kind of slipped there, too.
The Phoebus line is having a tough time making space for him.
Okay, watch my back, coaches. Watch me.
Third down from about the 1-yard line for the Phantoms. Justin Wright, number 19. And we got him.
That's the quarter. So we'll swing around and go 99 yards the other way and flip it all around.
From Darling Stadium at the end of the first quarter between the Bethel Bruins and the Phoebus Phantoms. It's Bethel 6 and Phoebus 0. Interesting first quarter.
Well, Bethel has had the ball twice. Phoebus had it twice and still has it, but they haven't gone very far. They haven't gotten a first down yet. So in a surprising start really for the Bruins, but a good one. I know Coach Hooker is very happy with the start. To be honest, if you give up the start to Phoebus, you're in for a long night. So if you're going to play with these guys, you got to try to get ahead, try to at least show some physical ability out there in the first quarter.
And establish the run game, which is what Bethel's trying to do. All right, for right now, let's run down to Bob Hintz. He's got a guest down there. Bob?
All right, thanks, guys. I got Daquan Romero, Day-Day. Good to see you back here again, but tell me a little bit about what's it like up at UVA.
I mean, it's great right now. Right now we have a great atmosphere. You know, we're playing well, defense is playing well, offense is coming together, playing well. And it's just good to be on grounds out there, you know.
All right, now, what do you see in this game that hit you right away?
It's just being back in Darling Stadium, of course. You know, just coming back, it's just a great feeling, you know, getting the love and support I got from you guys and other fans out there. It's just great, you know. I mean, times has changed, but it's still a great experience.
Well, good enough. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
All right, guys, let's go back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you. And as that was going on,
And Becknell
handoff goes to Becknell, and he doesn't get but about a yard, maybe.
Well, he started in the parking lot of the library, way down to the east end of the field, but once again, the Bethel line stops him.
Are you ready for this?
You and I were complimenting Daquan Romero earlier. Here's the run there. You see him start way deep in the end zone and come out. No, Romero looks terrific, and he has played extremely well up in Charlottesville.
Phoebus having to punt it deep out of their own end zone. Here come the Bruins. And the punt is going to go to about the 36. And there's a flag in the end zone as the return goes to about the 29 or 30. But let's see what that flag is in the end zone.
That
looks like roughing the kicker from where.
Where do they? I don't know if they have the running into the kicker. We'll see what they got. We can see it again.
Running into one or the other.
Here we go. The see it.
Let's see who got this down there. There's the kick.
Oh, well, got him right in the foot. His foot that was off the ground bent right on top of it.
I would call it running into the kicker from what I saw, but then again, I'm not a referee, so we'll see what happens.
5 yards, running into the kicker. Defense. 5 yards, replay 4th down.
So they were lucky it wasn't a roughing the kicker. But
We'll
Phoebus will get those 5 yards, so it'll be 4th and 2 now, and it may or may not change.
It looks like they're going to kick it again. I see Elijah Nelson back there.
Some quick stats here for everybody. Phoebus High School has ran 5 plays with no first downs in the first quarter. Bethel 12 plays, 5 first downs. Big difference right there.
Once again, Nelson back near the library.
Whoa.
Kick. Better punt.
Much better punt. It gets a bounce, and it's going to go near midfield, where it'll be down just across midfield to the 49-yard line of the Bruins. So a much better punt.
That's one that's hard to record. You get the +5 on for the Bruins, but they lose about, +5 for Phoebus, and then another 20 on the punt. So worked out well for Phoebus. Pushes Bethel a little bit past midfield.
But still good field position for the Bruins.
Paul, it's 7:30, Paul. Do you think Lucy is still alive at the Grey Goose?
Let's hope she is.
Remember, that's tomorrow night. Everybody Loves Lucy Murder Mystery, 5:30 and 7:30 down at the Grey Goose in downtown Hampton.
And somebody did that.
Ricky finally.
2 receivers up top, 2 receivers down bottom. Bo Morgan looking to pass, can't find a quick rush by the Phantoms. Morgan gets the pass up, and it's caught at about the 26-yard line by number, is it 10 or 20?
It's Josh Owusu that caught it, number 90.
Number 90.
Owusu Kamora, I believe is how you say his full last name, but Josh Owusu is what you call when we call basketball games, because that family's had plenty of basketball players.
Nice. Went up and got that one. Nice pass by Bo Morgan, who got out of the pocket there and chased out and made something out of that busted play.
Well, Morgan's done a great job of just getting the ball out to the receivers, and receivers are making their own space.
Morgan gives it off to Lee. Lee over the right side. Gets over the 25.
And it got behind. Here we go down to Bob. Bob, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm watching this Bethel offense, and if you remember back when they beat Heritage, the big play that they had that time was a middle screen to Christie. The way the Phoebus Phantoms are going in and Grayson for the quarterback, be a great time for a screen play.
Thank you, Bob. Trips to the left. He gives it off to number 9, Lee, who again tries that right side, and he'll get down to close to the 15-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down. We'll have to see. And they say it's first down.
Well, that play was going left, but the big lineman there, you see him, number 57 for the Phantoms, shut down that side. That's just a complete stoppage on that side. So Lee cuts it back right and then runs over Marlon Carter. And Carter able to hang on long enough to bring him down, but first down Bruins.
Same formation, same play. There he goes. Down to the 5-yard line, and there's a flag. And that was Quentin Lee again as he's beginning to find a seam there, and the Bruins are getting some good blocks.
And I'm going to guess a targeting call on Robbie Robinson. And just the way the flag came out at the tackle, it looks like Robinson came in from his cornerback spot, lowered his head. Yep. See him hitting the helmet. And so that's going to take it half the distance.
Targeting. Defense. Half the distance. First and goal. Bethel.
First and 10 or whatever it is.
Well, you notice that Lee is looking. They're trying to go left, and the Phantoms are able to block that side. Jacob Dorr, a little fella, 6'3", 380, taking up a lot of space on that side, so they're having to go back to the right. And Lee is making good work on that side.
Tighter offense
before
this
the play.
time.
Encroachment. Defense. Half the distance. Remains first down.
I'll tell you what, Phoebus is putting itself in a hole through penalties tonight.
Only good news is if they keep going half the distance, I'm no math teacher, but they can't score.
As long as it's half
Can't
to
half
the
the distance,
goal,
will
then
not-
you've got to stay out of there.
That's when the little 8 goes sideways into the infinity side, and you can't score.
And there he goes into the end zone. Quentin Lee, once again, he scores. And once again, Bethel staying with this running attack, staying with Quentin Lee. And it's paying off, folks. He's finding the holes. He's getting there. They're grinding the yardage, and they're grinding the time.
Well, they're grinding behind that little tiny Travis Maxwell, 6'1", 329. And they're going right behind him and Corey Ricks on the right side and doing a great job making a hole for Lee.
Phoebus looks like they're going to go for 2. And there's going to be a flag. 2 flags. One in
I was
each
going to say,
backfield.
just offensive confusion, 5 yards.
Substitute infraction. Offense, 5-yard penalty. It's still a point after touchdown.
Well, the line for Bethel they've owned the line of scrimmage so far here. We're a quarter in, and Maxwell doing a great job in his guard spot. And it's Philip Howard on the right side with Maxwell, 55 and 77.
Morgan flipping a pass into the end zone, and it's way ahead of the receiver and through the end zone, incomplete.
Well, you got a flag, and you saw the receiver make the cut, and then he slowed down. I think the guy had his hand in his pocket. Did you see him make the cut? And he would have been there, but right in front of the official.
Defense, pass interference. Half the distance to the goal remains a point after touchdown.
Half and half and half and half and half.
20 penalties on Phoebus, about 3 yards penalized. Yeah. But that time, the receiver had his cornerback beat, and he was able to turn in, and all the corner could do was try to hold him long enough, and you see the ball go in front of him.
Phoebus.
Phoebus is going to take one of its timeouts at this time as they talk it over.
Here's a touchdown run here, Paul. You'll see him right on the right side. There's 55 Ricks, 77 is Maxwell.
Look at him turn his body to get through that crease in there.
Like following a couple of Buicks. And
nice run by Quentin Lee, who is just, it looks like he's beginning to crank things up there. All right, let's go down to Bob Hintz on the field while we get this timeout. Bob?
Hey, guys, talk about self-destruct. I've never seen a Phoebus team. They're going to give these all the yardage, half the distance, half the distance, half the distance. But you got to look at the way the Bethel Bruins are playing. They're playing with more desire. They don't look like the same team that we saw last week. This is just unbelievable how well they're playing. And, of course, Phoebus probably come in here with an idea, well, we can blow them out. You can't blow any team out here on the district.
No, and it looks like up here, Bob, I don't know about you, but it looks like that Bethel right now is winning the game at the line.
They are that. They are winning at the line of scrimmage.
So here they go again after another penalty.
Everybody.
Going for the 2-point conversion. Morgan has it. He throws inside, and it's not going to be in there. That was number 27 for the Bruins, and that was the name we didn't have that we got.
Oh, it's a Deshaun Pope.
Deshaun Pope.
Stopped by Chris Wilson. The Phantoms, nice play by Wilson to get out there and make the stop. So an interesting decision to go for 2. I guess they missed the kick on the first one. I would want to stay as far ahead of the Phantoms as I can if I'm Bethel, but we'll see how it plays out.
The way they've been moving the ball, I think I would have gone with that decision too. I would have thought, hey, we've been running the ball well. We can either run it or pass, one or the other, and get in there. But it didn't work. That's a chance you take.
Well, Coach Hooker certainly knows, and I think in the entire state of Virginia knows that Phoebus can have a start like this and still roar back. So Bethel's got to keep it up, but they're off to a great start.
This is going to be a key series right here for the Bethel Bruins with 9:13 left in the first half. The Phantoms are down by a score of 12-0 to the Bethel Bruins here at Darling Stadium on October the 10th, 2014. They're going to have to move the ball and get it into Bethel's territory.
Now Chase Deaton is teeing it up for the Bruins.
Bruins kicking off, going deep to, well, Robbie Robinson's going to take it. He got stepped aside. Let's see if I can get that number for you. Looks like number 6 or number 8 from here.
Yeah, it was Joe Addison running it.
Joe Addison.
Running back the kick for the Phantoms.
So the Phantoms will have it 1st and 10 from their own 32. And let's see what they can do with this one. When you've got weapons like Justin Wright, Jamari Becknell, and Breon Baskerville, you're going to move the ball eventually. Let's see how they do it here.
They spread it out a little bit.
Justin Wright in the backfield. He'll give it off to Becknell, and he'll find a crease, another crease. He'll get to the 40-yard line and continues and gets about to the 43, 44-yard line. He just kept going and going and going like the ever-ready bunny.
Yeah, that's a good work for the line. Open up the first hole we've seen all night for the Phantoms. Their first down. First down.
Bethel needed the line work to open that one, and they did. And
Timeout.
just went right through it.
Bethel.
Right behind big number 66, Anton Leroy. The problem is he came up wobbly a little bit and had a knee, still limping a little bit as he goes over. There he is on the right, number 66. Good block there. Leroy's a junior, 6'1", 255. So he probably had 2 lunches today.
Timeout on the field here with 9 minutes to go in the half. There you see Coach Bubba Hooker of the Bethel Bruins. And there's his young quarterback right there, Bo Morgan. Nice shot right there by our camera crew. Nice shot.
Well, a good start by the Bruins. Let's see what they can do here. The Phantoms, their first offensive performance of anything to speak of. Down to Bob.
Timeout here. Bob, you got something down there.
Hey, guys, I got done talking to the players and the coaches. 27 is Jordan, not Pope, Jordan. He's not on the roster anywhere, but that's his name.
Yeah, good pickup.
All right, thank you, Bob.
Tanaz Jordan, number 27. Yeah, Jordan just makes the tackles. You say his name and he makes the tackle.
And that play went nowhere quick for the Phoebus Phantoms as they'll have 2nd and 10 from about the 44.
Well, Jordan making a big impact here for somebody not on our roster.
Yes, I know.
Look down and be sure it's not Daquan Romero dressed in green tonight.
And sorry for the name confusion, folks, but we're getting the coaches up here saying one thing and the coaches down on the field saying another. So we hope we got it right finally.
Oh, bad snap.
Oh, bad snap picked up by, not sure who that was. And he gets out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. See if we can catch that number 65 for the Bruins. I think I heard the name Wright used.
No, that was Justin Wright for the quarterback, picking up a few yards, picking up the bad snap. Here it comes right at you. But just a bad snap.
Bad snap.
Picked up right. Make something out of
that
it.
Was no, that was Wright.
That was right, yeah. Tackled by Bethel's number 21, Josh Hagans, who's having a good night on D tonight.
But again, it keeps Phoebus in a hole as it's 3rd and long from their own 42.
The one to watch here is the one split left, Elijah Nelson.
Wright goes back. He's looking downfield. He's got an open man, and it is.
It is not a good result.
Intercepted.
No, it's tackled. He's sacked.
Okay.
He's back
up
back at the 30. Nope.
Okay, you fooled me. I'm looking at the screen. I'm sorry.
No, he carried back, tackled about on the 30. They placed it at 34 with his forward progress. But a good sack by the line of the Bethel Bruins.
Well, I got fooled on that because I went with our cameras downfield and it looked like it got intercepted.
No,
But
the old tuck
couldn't
rule
throw
right
it.
there.
Yeah.
Whistle blown, number 7.
Great defense by the Bethel Bruins as they're now going to get the ball back because Phoebus is going to have to punt from about their own 25.
A good punt by Nelson.
Nice punt. Nice
Darrell Brown's
punt.
got to run back.
And he's going to take it at about the 16. He gets through. He gets an opening, gets across the 30. I don't know how he came out of that, but he did.
It's a great tackle out there to save about 20 more yards by the Phantoms. I think it was number 35, Aaron Branch, if I can see the name that far, made about a 20-yard saving tackle there. Is Brown, that's what we call the old Ronald Curry play. Let it bounce, see what the defense does, and pick it up and go.
The Bruins take over at the 33, 34-yard line, 33-yard line.
Got some rain, Paul. We didn't predict,
There it
we
is.
didn't expect rain this evening, but we got some right now.
Trips to the top of the screen, man in motion down here, and it goes to the man in motion, and that's number 9, Lee, and he gets it across to about the 38. Pick up of several yards there.
A good tackle out there by Chris Wilson, helped by Peyton Ryder. But not before he picked up almost 6 yards. Good play, just a toss out to the back. Here he comes down. What's a good tackle there?
Quentin Lee doing it all tonight. Doing it all. Bo Morgan with trips to his left. He gives it to Quentin Lee. He comes off the right side, finds a hole, and gets down near the 45-yard line. It'll be a first down.
Well, Travis Maxwell, the guard, the right guard, 329 pounds. That time kind of black holed him down. You know, the gravity pulled the back right behind him. Watch it. We get a chance to look at that again, or if you can watch it at home again, that was a great play by the right guard. Watch 77 and Rick's number 55 coming at you. Look at 77 push his way downfield.
Again, trips to the top. He gives it once again to Lee, and he's got some running room on the outside, but he gets tripped up and falls to the 50. And that looked like number 42 for the Phantoms that tripped him up.
Peyton Ryder on the tackle, but that time Corey Ricks from his right tackle spot held up 2 Phantoms and opened up the whole side. So Quentin Lee is getting to the Phoebus linebacking core every play now.
Yes, he is, and that's going to be costly eventually. And I don't know what's happening, whether it's they found something on Phoebus's side, this side, or whether the offensive line of Bethel on this side, because here it comes again to this side. They're working this right side of the offense, left side of the defense for the Phantoms, and they are pushing and pushing and getting yardage.
Well, if you notice that time, the veteran Harry Lewis moved over to the left side, set up outside of the tackle Ricks, and then met Ricks head on and was able to stand up Ricks, so there wasn't a lot of room behind him. And that time the Phantoms did a better job at bringing down Quentin Lee. They're going to move Lewis over here. He's number 70 in the white jersey. The Virginia Tech bound Harry Lewis.
They're spreading the linebackers with these trips to the top of the screen. We have some movement on the Phoebus Phantom defensive line.
Before the play, encroachment, defense, 5 yards. That's results. First down, Bethel.
That's the junior Kai Carson, who's getting some playing time tonight. Kai Carson, whose mother is a good friend of mine, Kenya, who I see a couple times a week. She was saying, I wanted to say hello to Kai out there and to Kenya. And she can't make it tonight, but we'll be sure to get her sons on game. She won't want to watch that play.
Bo Morgan once again. Quentin Lee, same side. They're going to run that play all night long until Phoebus can stop it. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, Maxwell at 329 is pushing his way down the field very well. That time they set Harry Lewis out to his right again, outside of the tackle, and got trapped. Lewis just enough for Lee to get in front of him and get down the line.
Good drive for the Bethel Bruins again. Their offense stays on the field, and the defense for the Phantoms stays on the field, and they're going to tire out eventually.
Well, Lee now over 55 yards rushing.
Morgan and Lee in the backfield. Morgan back to pass. A rush from the outside. He's pressured out of the pocket, and this time he's going to be dropped at about the 42-yard line by the Phantoms.
And number 55, Milan Willis, the senior. First time tackle for a loss tonight, I think, by the Phantoms.
It was.
We'll see here.
Holding. Offense.
Ooh.
Penalty is declined. Result of the play, 3rd down.
Big number 66 coming through for the Phantoms. It's Anton Leroy, who looks good that time. He hurt his leg on the offensive side of the ball that time. Looked very mobile.
3rd and long for the Bruins, and I think that's the first time we've seen 3rd and long for them. Usually it's 3rd and short.
Well, you'll notice that Phantoms are moving new linemen in, trying to get that combination, the right combination against the Bethel
Looks like we have too
offensive
many
line.
players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Here comes the 3rd and long. Morgan back to pass. Throws it short across the middle to about the 40-yard line.
Well, Robbie Robinson on the defense that time. Good play by Robinson. All the receivers covered. No place to go but to Brown, cutting across the middle. He doesn't get enough yards to move the sticks very far at all.
All right, real quickly down to Bob Hitz on the field. Bob?
Hey, guys. I just want to let you know that last play, the play before last where they tackled and threw for a loss, Quentin Lee in the backfield laid a block that just lowered the guy that was rushing. Bo Morgan got sacked, but not because Quentin Lee didn't do his job. That guy's going to need an aspirin tonight.
And the Bruins punt for one of the first times, and it'll be down at about the 15-yard line of the Phantoms with 2:38 left in the half here at Darling Stadium. So Phoebus will take over. They're on the wrong end of a 12-0 score here on October the 10th, 2014, as the surprising Bethel Bruins have just come out with a roar.
Well, the weather could play into this, Paul. If we get heavy rain, it sure could limit the Phantoms' ability to come back in big numbers. Certainly cut down on the passing game. It's coming down heavier now.
Two receivers to the top of the screen for the Phantoms. Justin Wright at quarterback. Turns. Hands it. Oh, there he goes. Becknell, number 11. He found the seam. He found the hole. He's got the speed. He's gone. Touchdown for the Phoebus Phantoms, and how quickly the game can turn.
Well, you're never going to catch him in the open field.
No.
He has proven to be the fastest running back in the league, and there he shows it. Let me compliment the fullback, and I'll start right there. What a block by the fullback, Jalen Holloway, wearing the number 40 tonight, getting the call at fullback. Phoebus has a couple of good young fullbacks. One of them's Holloway, the sophomore, and what a block he had to free up his running back. So Becknell picks up about, 80 yards? 75 yards?
That's for sure.
That'll make his stats look good.
Is it Gerard or Jared Riley?
Jared.
Becknell.
There you go. Becknell now with 100 yards.
Wow.
On what, 5 carries? 7 carries. Not
Defense.
too far off.
Half the distance. Still a point after touchdown.
We're going to have 10 penalties each side and about 5.5 yards penalized.
Oh, my
This is
goodness.
Riley here to kick the extra point. He gets an extra 1.5 yards.
Now we got another conversation between the refs. Mr. Denton will tell us what's going on.
There's no flag on the play. We still have a point after touchdown from the 3.
All right, no flag. So they're going to do it over again, or do it for the first time, depending on how many times you count. This is Riley. Looks like, is that Joe Addison doing the holding for the?
I think so.
for the Phantoms.
It's down, kick is up, and it is good.
That was a good hold there. A good bad snap on the ground. It was Chris Wilson, I think, the hole number 9 in the hole, but he picked it up and got it upright. So Riley could put it through the uprights.
So the Phantoms get on the board here with about 2 minutes left in the first half. The score now, Bethel 12 and Phoebus 7. And we'll see the touchdown here in a minute, and we'll see how much that's going to turn things around.
Watch
for the
the fullback right here, number 40, blocked.
Whoa.
And then the wall of receivers held up. He gets by the linebacker, and off he goes to the races, and you're never going to catch him. Ian Bell, last one with a chance, and just flat out outrun by Jamari Becknell.
I just like how he went through that little seam there in the line, Frank. That was very good, how he exploded through there. Once you, like I said, once he gets out in the open, forget it. You're not going to get him at all. Not even close. And there's Coach Kozlowski from the Bethel Bruins, the young man with the umbrella right there. Young man. Yeah, he's still a young man.
Coach of the 74 championship team, was he not?
74, 40 years ago. They were the championship team. That last drive consisted of one play, took 16 seconds, took him a long time to get down there, going 85 yards, and they kick short, but it's going to be picked up by the Bruins.
And it's Isaiah Bell able to pick that one off the ground.
So you can see a little bit more step and juice in the Phoebus Phantoms now after that touchdown. It might have woken them up.
Well, we'll see here. Bethel again with a short field. Rain still coming down. It's going to hinder Morgan as well through the air. It may help Lee. Watch the right side here.
Bethel with 3 receivers to the top of the screen. Morgan gets it, hands it off to Becknell, and again he goes to that side on the right. This time he's only going to get a yard as the Phantom defense stops him at midfield.
Good play by Breon Baskerville, the veteran, the senior. Real good play by him to fill the hole there.
All right, let's run down to Bob on the field, please.
Hey, guys, I saw you talking about Coach Kozlowski and that championship team in 1974. That was his first year as a head coach. Then he followed it up in 1976 with another one. I tell you, the young man, you called him, he works out as big and strong as he was when he was coaching.
Uh-oh, there goes Mr. Quentin Lee. That play they've run in time and time and time again, Frank. He got through this time, and when he did, he took off.
You could get a train through that hole that time. Watch
gosh.
Maxwell pull to his left and open up the hole. Watch big number 77.
Timeout.
And we'll see it on the replay. Just open the hole, push the line. The whole defensive line pushed it down to the left, and Quentin Lee goes to the right.
Yeah, we were talking to Bob
The big
Watch
man,
this,
look
folks.
at him right there.
Look at this.
And just stop the hole. I mean,
Look
create
at
the
breaking
hole.
those tackles. Good run.
Robinson comes all the way from the other side of the field to make the tackle. So 2 good running backs as we expected tonight, both of them playing well. Lee right now getting a few more opportunities. Becknell making the most of his.
Exactly. But so is Lee.
Well, then you see Jeremy Blunt talking to his defense. Minute 35 left here in the second quarter, so trying to figure out how to stop the Bruins from scoring before they go into the halftime.
Yeah, as well as Bethel's been playing all night long, they don't want them to go into the locker room with the momentum. Lee has 17 carries for 90 yards already, so we're going to have 2 players tonight probably with over 100 yards, 1 for each team. One already has over 100
Over 100 yards in the first half,
Yeah.
almost. Now watch your right side here.
1:35 left to go. We got trips on the left-hand side. Lee right beside Morgan, a little low, and Bo's going to try and do it, and Phoebus was having none of that. They laid for him, and they were ready for him, and they drop him at the 25. Good time to call that play, but it didn't work.
Yeah, good play. Mike Griffin in on the tackle that time for the Phantoms. Not sure if that wasn't may be a busted play that time. That's what I thought. Clock still running.
As far as they didn't call time there. Bo gives it to Lee. This time Lee's going nowhere. He tried that left-hand side, and he gets stopped at about the 25.
Well, Tyquan Johnson for the Phantoms has come on to play on the line. He is not a starter, but they've got him in there now. That's a couple times where he's plugged the hole, able to get his big arm on the running back
Bethel.
and slow him enough to get some help. So a lot of changes on the Phoebus defensive line we've seen so far in this first half, and it seems to be working, getting some new faces up front.
All right, let's once again go down to Bob Hintz on the field. Bob?
I'm going to tell you guys, there's a lot of hard hitting down there, but as I was walking up the side, I saw this young man standing over the side with a big Duke shirt on, Mike Dunn, who quarterbacked that championship game in 1974, but Mike Dunn was also played basketball for me and was the first 1,000-point scorer in Bethel history. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Bob. Going to be a lot of players from that 74 team probably out here tonight. There you see Jeremy Blunt, the coach, talking again to the Phantoms.
Now we talked for the game with Coach Blunt, and he pointed out that he still does the coordination of the defense for the Phantoms, and you can see him mix his pieces up here.
Well, he's trying to find something that'll work, because in the first half, in the first quarter in the beginning, it wasn't working real well. So he's making some adjustments, and that's what a good defensive coordinator does.
We've got Harry Lewis out of the defensive lineup right now.
47 seconds left. Morgan back to pass. He's got a man open in the end zone, and it's broken up by the Phantoms. A great defensive play by the Phantoms.
Elijah Nelson, I believe, with his arm, big arm up there. You know, he's one of the top receivers that time. Took through the pass to the ground. Ball was just a little bit underthrown. If he'd thrown it a couple yards further, it would have been a touchdown. The receiver was open.
Denny.
Fourth down and long for the Bethel Bruins after a great defensive play by the Phoebus Phantoms, and the Bruins are going to attempt a 41-yard field goal. That's number 30 for the Bethel Bruins.
Chase Deaton.
It's down, it's up, and it is off the goal post. And it hits the goal post and bounces back rather than forward. Just missed.
Amazing, he got it through the outstretched arms of the rushers, but couldn't get it through the outstretched arms of the goalpost.
Well, the snap was a little high, and the holder did a great job of getting the ball down so it could be kicked, and the kicker did a good job of kicking it. Just hit the goalpost and bounced off, just a little short.
41-yard attempt in the drizzle, so
yeah,
not a bad attempt.
Phoebus will now take over at the 20-yard line with 36 seconds left to go in the game. As you can see, 1st and 10.
Timeout call.
Timeout. Bethel. That is their final timeout for the first half.
Coach Hooker, I'm sure, is telling his team, do not give up the 85-yard run.
Yeah. Hey, guys, you remember that play? They went all the way on. Don't do that.
Don't give that one up.
Don't do that. Everybody take a man and stop him. And, of course, Phoebus is saying, hey, remember that play we ran again? Back now. Do it again. Do it again.
Entertaining half for sure. We thought it would be a good ball game tonight, and it sure has been.
Yes, we did. And a lot of people were telling me that this was not going to be a good game at all. They said, oh, it's going to be a blowout. Don't worry about it. And I said, no, you need to watch these teams like we watched them all year. You're going to be surprised.
I got the impression that somebody had mentioned that to Jeremy Blunt, and you heard him in his interview earlier tonight. He declined to go that far. He knew it was going to be a dogfight.
A lot of receivers out there for the Phantoms. Beck now in the backfield, the lone running back, along with Wright, the quarterback. Wright drops back. He's looking to the right-hand side, looking for a receiver down the sideline, and he's not there. Pass well over his head and incomplete.
Yeah, good play inadvertently there by the corner or the outside linebacker. I think it was Aaron Edwards covering the receiver. He never saw anything, but he also didn't commit interference. I believe the receiver was that Joe Addison, wasn't it, number 8?
Yes, it was.
And Addison could not get through the man to try to get that ball. It was a little bit underthrown. It does stop the clock, though, so they're going to get a few more shots at it.
Once again, they go to the spread. Trips to the top of the screen. Single receiver down at the bottom. Lone back is Becknell. Back goes right, and oh, he is hit and bounced. He comes off the left-hand side, and he is trying to get out of bounds at about the 30. And oh, man, was he popped. And he just bounced off. I don't know whether it was hit by a defender or whether it ran into his own man, but you can see him just bounce back.
Well, good rush by the Bruins. I saw their one of their safeties actually listed as a guard, but Josh Higgins, I think, snuck up there, number 21. You see him flush, and he's the one that laid the wood. Around comes Justin Wright, does a nice job picking up a few yards. He did not get the first down, though. He's about 2 yards shy.
He did a great job of recovering and making something out of a play that was going to be dead back in the backfield.
Well, you know, forget that you forget that Justin Wright is only a junior. I mean, he's just he seems to have a really good sense in the pocket.
We've got a whistle.
Looks like too much time or timeout.
Timeout, I believe.
Before the flag for the delay of game, timeout.
So we had both, had a timeout and a penalty.
Before
the
that is our last timeout for the first half.
Came first. Well, I know Jeremy Blunt wants to get the Phantoms downfield. They got 24 more seconds. They are out of timeout. So it's now a little bit after 8 o'clock here, and the Everybody Loves Lucy Murder Mystery Show now playing at the Grey Goose. You can see that tomorrow. Give them a call down at the Grey Goose ahead of time. 5:30 and 7:30 showings tomorrow down in our sponsor, the Grey Goose in downtown Hampton, right on Old Hampton Lane. Go grab a lunch down there. In fact, I may do it tomorrow. I'm apparently being abandoned at the house, so I've got to find something to eat, and nothing better than a little chicken salad down at Dana and Phil Epstein. And happy birthday to Phil Epstein, his birthday today. And in his honor, they're sacrificing Lucy Ricardo.
Justin Wright with the ball drops back, and he's getting pressured by the Bruins, who drop him at about the 14-yard line as the clock ticks away with 15 seconds left. Great defensive play by the Bethel Bruins.
And it's Josh Higgins, who's played very well here in the first half. Higgins, 11th grader, 6 foot, 165-pound defensive back. As the rain comes down and the helium balloon goes up, that's the end of the half. So Bethel's going to run to the locker room in a drizzle, but with the lead, 12-7.
And what a great first half of football we had here, ladies and gentlemen. A surprising lead. I shouldn't say surprising, but it is, for the Bethel Bruins, 12-7, right here at Darling Stadium on October the 10th, 2014. And we've seen Bethel do exactly what we said they had to do, and that was to run the ball and run the ball. And now, for a presentation here at Darling Stadium by Beth Mayer, coordinator here for the City of Hampton Schools and Darling Stadium.
I'm going to go first. Ms. Henry gets done talking. That's when we're going to release the balloon, so Jack and Joe have something to play with. Okay?
A little behind-the-scenes activity there, Beth. Getting everybody coordinated. Got a good-looking group over there tonight, as Phyllis Henry is on our school board.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor of Hampton City Schools Athletic Department to present Mr. and Mrs. Joe Ward 2 Wall of Fame bricks recognizing their daughter, Jackie Ward, and their son, Joe Ward. Jackie and Joe attended Phoebus High School approximately 10 years ago. They were model students and student athletes. Jackie played on the softball team, and Joe played on the baseball team. They were both recognized by the Peninsula District, Phoebus High School, and the Eastern region for their athletic ability. But what set Joe and Jackie apart from the rest of the student body was their wonderful way they approached life. They were happy, loving, and caring children that touched so many people at Phoebus and their community. So we present these bricks to Jackie and Joe's parents for the fantastic athletes they were, but more importantly, for the wonderful human beings we remember. Now, for a little talk is Mrs. Henry, our school board member, formerly Phoebus High School principal.
Thank you, Ms. Mayor. Jackie and Joe were students at Phoebus when I had the honor of serving as principal. Jackie was the member of the class of 2003, and in her junior year, her little brother, Joe, came to school too. Both students were very well known and very liked at Phoebus. They were known as athletes, as you've heard, for softball and baseball, but they were the kind of teammates you really want to have. They were talented, they were competitive, but mostly they loved the game, and their enthusiasm was contagious and made you enjoy playing with them. Many of their former teammates contributed to the bricks that will be up here in their honor, and I know all their teammates are happy to see them receive this honor. Thank you.
And a little present for Jackie and Joe. There you go. Enjoy the balloons.
Well, after that very, very touching moment, Paul, when you know the young Wards, and I have niece and nephew who are very good friends with them. What a tragedy, loss, but a great pair of brother and sister and great members of Phoebus High School.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to have taught Jackie, and of course from baseball I knew Joe, and Jackie was just a marvelous, I can't say enough about her or her family. And as we saw, I thought back to those times, and as the balloons went up and it's raining out there, all I could think of was that they were crying in happiness for what they were seeing tonight. A very solemn moment here at Darling Stadium.
And now we go from that to a moment, a joyous moment. Yes. We have the 1974 Bethel Bruin team out there. Some of them looking like they can still fit in the jerseys.
And tell me, Frank, why was the 1974 team so important? What's significant about them?
Yeah, it's 40 years ago. 40
yeah,
years
it was
ago.
40 years ago.
And Coach Kozlowski's first team at Bethel.
And what did they do?
They won the state title in Virginia.
The state title in Virginia. Bethel High School Bruins under Coach Kozlowski, who Bob told us earlier, 2 years later, won another one.
They did. They behind. I think that was the one with Jerry Holmes.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But they're this is a fine group of men here.
Look at them there.
And it shows you the passion that runs through these schools. You know, the fact is that every school has its moments in history that they love to commemorate, and Bethel is certainly one of those. They have great tradition in football. You see, they still get along very well.
Oh, yeah. Look at the smiles on their faces as they're talking about those years. Wow.
Well, we're very lucky here on the peninsula. Great tradition of football.
And it goes way, 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 way back. Of course, it can go all the way back to the time where there was only one high school competing in the divisions here, and that was Hampton High School.
And of course, for years, Paul, if you could win the Peninsula District, you had a pretty good shot at the state championship. If you could get out of the Peninsula with no losses, and it used to take a perfect season to get out of the Peninsula to go to the playoffs. This is back before you had 28 different divisions and
20 different schools,
8 teams could get in.
else.
This is back when winning the Peninsula District was quite a tough thing to do, and it set you on your way. Of course, the Peninsula District owned the 70s in the football championship. Crabbers won in 75, and again in 77, and again in 80.
Keep on going.
And you had Bethel winning it in 74 and 76, so it was a streak there that probably has never been matched.
And you had Phoebus coming on the scene again, and running off those championships year after year. Peninsula District in this area has been, just like you said, really big.
I need a cheerleader.
Football. Very big in football.
It looks like some of these guys can still play.
There you see Ray Smith in the hat, the athletic director for the Bethel Bruins. He's trying to get all these guys
Good
back
evening,
in
ladies
line.
and gentlemen. This year's the 40th anniversary of Bethel's 1974 state championship football team. At this time, I'd like to introduce the players and coaches. Mike Dunn, Bruce Elliott, I think he can still play. Gary Cobb, Dan Shackelford, Robert Bowen, Greg Day, Lynn Batchelor, who helped put this together, Matthew Winder, Marion Gale, Brian McBride, Michael Clark, Clifton Parker, Jerome Francis, and he still has his state championship jacket, and he can fit in it. Mike Tyndall, straight from the Grove, David Pennington, Kirby Ely, Dwayne Thomas, Richard Hall, and I'd be remiss if we didn't notify those who are no longer with us and recognize them. Derwin Tucker, represented by his brother Shelton Tucker. Byron Edwards. Richard, excuse me. Represented by his brother Wayne. Lionel Jordan. His brother Von Jordan. Arthur Armstead. And the coaching staff that year was Roger Bouchard, Charlie Brown, Sam Butler, and the man, the legend, Dennis Kozlowski.
You know, Paul, we're privileged to be just here and part of this. But, you know, this is real Peninsula history. This is something that I think a lot of areas don't have. You know, we have such a long tradition of public education in Hampton. And this is just an extension of that. You know, we had the academy, I think the first public school here in Hampton in 1634. And it, as you identified earlier, it worked its way down to Hampton High School, and then Hampton gave birth to these other schools, Kickingham and Bethel and Phoebus. And each one has developed its history, but it all comes back to our city. And it's such a special part of our history.
And we can't forget Phoenix and Pembroke either, who were here at the same time early on. And all of those schools became part of that system that wrapped it.
Well, very much so. And it's such a strong tradition of public education here. And again, this is just a part, but a very special part.
Very special here at Darling Stadium tonight is the lead held by the Bethel Bruins, 12-7 over the Phoebus Phantoms. Stay with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back shortly at Darling Stadium. Bethel 12, Phoebus 7. Stay tuned. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Darling Stadium, October the 10th, 2014, where the Bethel Bruins hold a 12-7 lead over the Phoebus Phantoms here as we begin the second half. 12-7, Frank, 12-7. What a great game we've seen so far.
Well, yeah, we've seen Bethel come out strong, scored on their first two drives. They look good. We talked during the halftime. We're a little worried about the missed extra point and then going for two and not getting it. So they only have a 5-point lead over a team that scores. As long as it took Becknell to run the field, what was that, 7 seconds? It was
16 seconds.
16 seconds.
Yes.
You got the 85-yard run. He has over 100 yards, and he's carried the ball 7 times. But Bethel's played well defensively, offensively. The lines have been impressive to me. You and I have talked about that as well. You know, I have a big affinity for the linemen, and I've watched Maxwell for Bethel and Taekwon Johnson for Phoebus both play outstanding ball games so far.
Yeah, we keep talking about how good the runners have been, how they're looking for the holes, how they shoot through the holes, they're looking for the gaps. What we're not telling you is it's the line that creates those holes, creates those gaps, creates those seams. And without the line, that running back is going nowhere. I don't care how good he is. And tonight, these two lines have been doing a whale of a job of that in the trenches. And Bob, when he's down on the field, will tell you anytime that this game is going to win or lose itself in the pits.
Well, we're going to see some adjustments, I'm sure, from the Phantoms. We saw Coach Jeremy Blunt, who handles the defense for Phoebus, make adjustments there in the second quarter in particular and shut down some of the holes that were open toward the end of the first quarter. And we'll see what Bethel does. Coach Hooker is going to come out with some new looks.
All right. What have we got here now?
Well, we're about ready to kick off. We can see we can't catch some replays from the first half. Had some exciting plays. Here's a touchdown by Quentin Lee as he goes left. The only time he's had a lot of success left was that first drive and able to score there and put Bethel in a surprising lead. Here comes Robbie Robinson, speaking of fast. Try to keep your eye on him. Nice tackle there to bring him down, but not before he picked up 25 yards on the running back. There's Quentin Lee right, that time over behind Maxwell. And you see the Bruins score their second touchdown. Good run here. That's Jamari Becknell showing what he can do as he goes through the hole. The touchdown scored here, though, as he goes right, big hole, and then he's off to the races. You're not going to catch Becknell in the open field. And, folks, and I know those are fast guys chasing him, and you see how fast he is. And we go now to the kickoff. Oh, here we're going to go again. Quentin Lee to the right. And Quentin Lee to the right from the play from the first half. Let's go back to live action here. As the Phantoms are going to start the second half with the football.
All right, and they have kicked off, and a fair catch was called, and the ball is on about the 30-yard line of the Phantoms, where they will take over here. 1st and 10 in the second half of this game, with the Phantoms down by a score of 12-7.
Dried up a little bit, Paul. No rain right in the moment, or if it is, it's very light.
Very light. I still see the umbrellas here and there. Right out of the shotgun. 2 receivers down here to the near side of the field. And it goes, of course, to Becknell, and he is hit by 5, count them 5 Bethel Bruin defenders as soon as he gets the handoff from right.
That's Corey Ricks. That time with the tackle. Ricks, Phillip Howard have both played very well offensively, and now Ricks on the defensive side able to make the play. Becknell loses a yard. You don't say that very often.
Well, that was a little bit slow developing there. Didn't go anywhere. Defense was in there quick. Once again, same formation. Wright going back, hands to Becknell. He tries to get through the left side. He'll get just about over the original line of scrimmage.
At that time, Aaron Edwards steps up from his linebacker spot, able to wrap up the running back, holding to just a couple of yards. This is where Justin Wright's going to show off that arm. He's got the big receiver in Elijah Nelson wearing the number 10 tonight.
He hadn't thrown to him tonight.
No, he has not. Hadn't had a lot of time to throw. We've seen him flush from the pocket a couple times in the first half. Let's see what he can do here.
He'll go to him eventually. He's number 10 at the near side of your screen here. Wright with two backs behind him. He'll go back. He'll fake the give, and he goes down the right sideline deep, and there's a flag on the play, and we're going to get interference. There's no question.
That's a tough call on the defensive back as he had position. But again, that's another one where the ball is not on the mark, and the receiver is able to maneuver his body in a position where he gets bumped and picks up the penalty.
But getting bumped is one thing. If you watch the replay on this, you're going to see him take his arm back, and he's going to push the receiver out of the way.
Pass interference, 15 yards from the previous spot. The result, 1st and 10, Phoebus.
Ooh.
Well, here we see the replay, and you'll see the ball a little underthrown, a little too far to the center part of the field. Wright rolls nicely, plants, and throws. But we can't see the penalty here because it's already happened.
Yeah, you can see him. You can see him with that arm. He turned around and he took his arm and he pushed the player back.
Tough call, but first down for the Phantom.
To Becknell off the left-hand side. He'll pick up a couple of yards. Phoebus moving.
Jalen Holloway, the fullback, with a nice lead block. Becknell's having to fight for every yard on every run but that long touchdown run. Desmond Denny in there, number 3.
Wright brings him out of the huddle. He's up under the center. He's got two backs behind him, two receivers to the top. Takes the center, goes back, hands it off to Becknell. He's hit again, and he is brought down for a loss in the backfield.
That's again, that's Aaron Edwards that time, number 6. Edwards had him, wrapped him up, got pushed aside, got back up and got him again. Good play by Aaron Edwards on the defense.
All right, down to Bob Hintz on the field.
Hey, guys, you have to look at this Bethel defense and see how they are swarming to the ball. Not one guy's tackling, not 2, not 3, sometimes 4 and 5 guys. Becknell cannot get a seam to get through on him. Bethel is really keen on him.
Well, he can't get the seam because there's not a seam there.
Well, he's running behind, Anthony Davila and Harry Lewis on the left side at that time, and even the 2 veterans can't seem to get the hole opened up.
3rd and long, passing situation for Wright. He's got a spread offense, 2 to the left, 2 to the right, 1 back behind him. Of course, that's Becknell. Robinson in motion to the top of your screen. He's going to go to the right. He's looking, throws it up toward the sideline, and it is broken up. It was intended to Robinson. It was broken up by number 15.
T.C.
Chisley.
The receiver on the offense played a good job that time, positioning himself without drawing the penalty.
Offense. That penalty is declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
So Bethel makes the first stop here in the second half. As the Phantoms are going to have to punt. Nelson back to do the punting. I don't believe they've thrown to Nelson yet. One of the leading receivers in the district.
Darrell Brown, number 10, deep for the Bethel Bruins. That man is fast. Nice punt. Brown's going to receive it at about the 23, and he's not going to get much further than that. He'll get down to about the 28-yard line, where Bethel will take over 1st and 10, and we'll see what they can do the first time they get the ball here in the second half with 8 minutes and 38 seconds left in the 3rd quarter.
Keep your eye on the battle up here on the right side. The right side is Travis Maxwell, number 77.
And all throughout the first half, they were winning that side battle because that's where Lee was running and running and running and running. And that's where they were getting their yardage.
And it's Philip Howard on the outside, the senior, number 6'1", 225, number 55. I may have been calling him Ricks earlier. Both Howard and Ricks, the two tackles, doing well, but it's Howard on the bottom here on the left side.
3 receivers on this side, and somebody moved. I think that was Phoebus.
Before the play, encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Second drive we've seen tonight for the Bruins start with a 5-yard penalty against the Phantoms. So they haven't had to snap the ball, and they pick up half a first down.
Yeah, they've had a couple of those tonight where they've drawn them offside and gained that extra yardage. Once again, the 3 receivers down here. Bo Morgan gives it off to Becknell, and here comes that side again, and this time he's not going anywhere. Oh, he got stacked up on that one, folks.
A little bit of a seam that time, filled quickly by the Phantom defense. That time, Howard had his man pushed aside. Maxwell had his man pushed aside, but there were linebackers in between.
Yeah, I think that was the big difference, was the linebackers this time. They were filling those seams, which they didn't do before.
Let's bring on Baskerville, number 12, the veteran. Baskerville seems like his name's been called now. It has been called as an active part of this team now in his 4th season.
Morgan and Lee in the backfield. Morgan with the snap. He gives it to Lee. Lee off the same thing, same results again. Not going anywhere.
A good tackle out there.
Phoebus' defense has made some adjustments so far, and they are not letting Lee get through that right-hand side now.
We'll see what Bubba Hooker calls for his Bruins here on 3rd and about 3.
Well, they're going to need that first down. They've got 2 up and 2 down as far as the receivers go. Morgan gets it. He drops back to throw. He looks to his left-hand side. Can't find anybody. Turns back right, and he's going to get hit. He drops the ball. Phoebus picks it up. They're going around the corner. They hit the sideline, and they're down to the 10-yard line. Phoebus.
Freshman Peyton Ryder picked it off the ground and brought it around. Be discussion of what they have out here.
They've got to decide whether he was down or not down when he left the ball on the ground.
I think the fumble's going to stand. The way the teams are positioning, fumbles are going to stand. I thought they were going to bring it back to where they picked the ball up, but nope. Ball gets moved down toward the Bethel goal line.
Let's take a look at the replay. There's Morgan with the ball. He
4-man
can't
rush.
find the receiver at all, so he takes it himself.
That's close.
That is real close.
Looks like his knees were on the ground when he slammed it down.
Who does that?
But no replay in high school.
Whoa.
Phoebus with a break here. They get the ball on the 16. Going the other way. That's Baskerville in the backfield behind his quarterback.
Right with the ball, gives it to Baskerville, and he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage. He might even have lost a yard on that one.
Good tackle out there. Number 11, Josh Williams, the defensive end. A lot of low numbers on the defense for the Bruins. You don't often hear the defensive end wearing number 11. Of course, I was talking to Daquan Romero, who wore 7.
Yeah.
Of course, he played 4 defensive positions at one time when he was here.
And a couple of offensive ones.
So a good stop by the Bruins.
Wright leads his team out again. Under center. Baskerville behind him. Wright tosses to Baskerville. He's hit behind the line of scrimmage again, only this time he's going to fight for a yard, so he may get back somewhere near the line of scrimmage.
Like it was either Desmond Denny or Aaron Edwards that made the first hit. I think it was Edwards that stayed home from his defensive end position, where he's actually the outside linebacker, but he had stepped up. Stayed home and forced the back inside.
Third down for the Phoebus Phantoms. A big play for them right here. Two receivers trot out to the near side of the field. Baskersville, the lone running back behind Wright, the quarterback. Wright takes it back to pass. He flips it into the end zone to a wide open receiver that looks like number, I want to say 11 or 12.
I think 32. Was it 32?
32.
Jacques
32.
Roberts?
There it is. Roberts, number 32. He just slid right out there. He cleared the backer, and he was wide open in the back.
I think that's a little confusion on the Bruins' part of not really recognizing Moore Roberts as a receiver, because he went through almost, wholly unnoticed.
Yes, he
The
did.
only guy that noticed him was the quarterback.
We'll have to see
Timeout.
that replay in a few minutes here.
Phoebus.
See what we can figure out there. Timeout for Phoebus here as they score the touchdown. They now have 13 points to the 12 put up by the Bruins, and they've yet to try the attempted extra point. Let's go ahead and look at that replay. Watch it.
You see, you got to look at the top of your screen. There goes Moore Roberts right behind Aaron Edwards, the linebacker, and number 2, Ian Bell, late to the play there. Moore Roberts practically shot up a flare, saying he was so wide open.
Yeah, you've got to stay with your man. If that's going to be your man, he's the only one over there. If he's going to be your man, you've got to stay with him, and then you've got to have coverage behind you as well.
Well, the missed extra point, or the blocked extra point, and the missed 2-point conversion now haunt the Bruins. They've scored the same number of touchdowns, but they're down a point before the kick.
All right, let's go down to Bob after that. Bob?
Hey, the reason they call the timeout is you look at the score. If they go for 2, they're up by 3 points instead of 2. That might not be a bad thing to do. That kid from Bethel did a great job on that other field goal. He hit the upright, but that would have made it through.
Thank you, Bob. You're exactly right on that. And, Frank, well, I'd go to 2 if it were me.
At this point, 1 or 2.
Why not?
Doesn't matter. So they get the 2. They got at least a field goal lead.
And that's what they're going to do. Wright takes it himself. Throws a little flare out, and it goes nowhere as the pass is a little low.
That was Becknell trying to make the catch, but the ball was low, and I'm not sure he would have gotten in even if he had made the catch. It was too many green shirts on that side.
Yeah, good defense again there for the Bethel Bruins. However, their Bethel Bruins are down by a point, 13-12 now with 5:30 left in the third quarter as we see the replay here. You see
him.
The
nice toss over there towards Jacques Moore Roberts.
Nice.
Moore Roberts doesn't get a lot of offensive touches. There's one for him.
He sure makes the most of them when he does.
He does. He does indeed. Starting outside linebacker for the Phantoms. So, a very evenly played game, and, of course, the 1-point difference, 13-12 Phoebus.
And that on the turnover.
Well, I imagine the Twitter feed tonight was electric with the 12-point lead for the Bruins. Now it's up the other way. Our good friend Dave Johnson from the Daily Press down the way, probably feeding his Twitter feed tonight and keeping everybody posted. Always want to thank the Daily Press and Lynn Burke over there and his staff of talented sports writers.
Darrell Brown drops back deep in the middle of the field for the Bethel Bruins for the kickoff. He's at about the 12-yard line. The kick comes, and it's right straight at him. He'll take it at the 15 to the 20, 25, 30 outside, 35 to the 40. Nice return by Brown, and there's a flag down, a late flag.
I think it's another targeting. If I had to guess, now I'm either that or face mask I didn't see, but it looked like a target. In other words, a defensive player leading with his helmet flying into the pile. Let's see what the call is.
We'll find out as Mr. Whitecap Allen Denton out there.
It's a big penalty if it's against the Phantoms. Let's see, we got face mask. Okay. Couldn't see that from here.
Is it 5 or 15?
Let's see what he says.
5-yard face mask on the kicking team.
Incidental
5 yards
face mask
from the end of the run. 1st and 10, Bethel.
We're going to see this play again. Maybe you'll see it better here on the replay. It's a good run back again by Brown. And he sticks his head right in here. He's got 2 guys. There's the incidental. I thought that second one was going to be targeting, but nope. good field position for the Bruins when they're on 45.
And before Bethel could get the play off, we have a whistle.
He stopped. And while we're waiting here, we're wondering what's going on with the Grey Goose, Paul.
I haven't been there tonight.
Better call them at 723-7978 and get your ticket for tomorrow night, 5:30, 7:30 showing. Everybody Loves Lucy, Murder Mystery. Doesn't seem to go together, but I'm sure it is. Wrapped around some good food.
The pitch goes to number 9. And of course, that is Quentin Lee.
That time he goes out to the outside beyond Corey Ricks and Rodney Addison for the Bruins. Picks up a good chunk of yardage on first down.
6-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd and 4.
That's got to put Quentin Lee over 100 yards right there.
Oh, yeah, we've got 2 running backs doing a real good job. 99, 98.
98 yards.
Brent says. Brent Musgrove, our statistician. Oh, Morgan. Ooh, he pitches it to Lee, and as Lee catches it, he is hit by the Phantom defense at about the 45-yard line for a loss.
That's the senior, Milan Willis. That time got around Philip Howard. Howard tried to push him out. The running back may have come out a little too far, and Willis able to shrug off the block and make the tackle.
Timeout. Bethel.
Nice defense by the Bruins. Looks like they're going to mark it at about the, 46.5, 47, Frank?
Howard catching a little grief there from the coach, but he had the block, but it was, I think he had the block on the wrong side. That may have been what he had the block and pushing Willis out. And I think the play was designed to go out. So then maybe a little confusion on the line. Good play by Willis, nevertheless.
Very good defensive play by the Phoebus Phantoms.
Okay, there's Brent Musgrove.
There's Brent, telling us how many yards everybody has. And there's Robbie Robinson. I can always pick him out because of the dreads.
Yeah.
He reminds me of Andrew McCutcheon, the center fielder for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Which reminds me also of the Flash I watched the other night on TV, where it's hard to catch him on a screen like that without vibrating. Well, Robbie Robinson, one of the fastest young men in the Peninsula District, if not in the Commonwealth this year.
Nice camera views of the Phoebus team.
Well, the camera work's superb this year, of course, by our great team here. Tonight on the cameras, Randy Begoli, Susan Bowers, Nathaniel Braxton, and Steve Fryer.
Trips to the near side here as Morgan gets it to drop back. He wants to throw. He's looking deep. He's pressured, and he's going to lose yardage. They drop him at about the 36-yard line as this time again the Phantom defense gets through.
Yeah, nothing phantom about the rushers that time. The coverage was superb, and if Morgan had just had maybe 2 more seconds to look, he had his receiver wide open, T.C. Chisley down the right side, but Phoebus rush getting to the quarterback.
Bethel in punt formation.
Robinson back for the kick.
Punt is up. Nice punt. Goes all the way back to about the 27-yard line, where it's taken by number 2 for the Phantoms, and that's Robbie Robinson.
Well, the one thing about having Robinson back there, not only is he extremely fast, but very sure-handed. So in a night where we got a little bit of drizzle still, a good man to have back.
Very good man because of his speed, if nothing else.
Well, the defense is tightened up there, Paul, in the halftime. Both of them adjusted, and both of them successful.
They have, and the Phantoms have really adjusted quite a bit and done a good job on defense, and now their offense has got to get itself into gear as they scored the first 6 points in the second half here to take the lead 13-12. Wright with 2 backs behind him, 2 receivers to the top of the screen. Right, gives it to
Becknell
again off the left side. He gets across the 40 to about the 44, and Becknell starting to find holds again.
Well, you didn't have to look far for the hole that time. And if we show the replay, look at the fullback, Holloway, leading the charge. Here comes Holloway right at you. Block there.
Nice.
And there's the hole.
Nice opening.
So Aaron Edwards has to come all the way from the far side to make the tackle. Phoebus blessed with fullbacks, Peyton Ryder, the freshman, and Jalen Holloway, the sophomore.
First down for the Phantoms. Right under center. Goes back, and once again, slipping is Becknell around the left-hand side there, or he'd have picked up some more yardage. He'll pick up about 3.
If you remember Chaz Robinson, the great fullback for the Phantoms in those state championship games, I think Chaz Robinson won 3 state titles with Phoebus.
Yes, he did.
And he's had just a terrific career down, I think he's at St. Augustine down in Florida. Just a wonderful player, but he really defined what a fullback is in this Phoebus offense. And you see these young guys, obviously they've probably seen some film of Robinson on how to play the position.
Right under center. 2 backs behind him. Nobody on the right-hand side. He gives it to the second back, and that's number 11, Becknell. And once again, he takes it back across the middle, goes over midfield to about the 48-yard line.
Well, if it works, keep calling it.
Why not until they stop you?
Holloway, who got the call tonight as a starter, is just doing his job. I talked to Coach Blunt before the game, and he kind of smiled when I mentioned fullback because he seems to be blessed again this year.
Right under center. Again, nobody on that upper right-hand side. And they'll give it to Becknell again, and Becknell goes over to that left-hand side, finds another hole with a good block, and gets to the 40-yard line of the Bethel Bruins. And the Phantoms are beginning to move the ball downfield and move the chains, and more importantly, eat up the clock, as there is 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the third quarter.
Left a lot of green jerseys on the ground, kind of in his wake that time. Once again, the hole this time was the line's responsibility. Watch Harry Lewis there open one up at the tackle, and in comes Becknell as he's starting to turn on the Jets.
Good job.
There's a good picture of the line.
Right under center. Once again, gives it this time to number 12, Breon Baskerville, and he'll probably lose a yard on that one.
Anthony DeVilla, that time the tackle got pushed back. They tried to go in the hole right behind the veteran Harry Lewis, number 70 there.
They're going to put his forward motion right at the 40-yard line, right back at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 2nd and 10. Clock winding down.
Remarkable how fast this game is going. 13-12 ball game.
Especially with all the penalties we've had tonight. Now we got 2 receivers going up to the top of the screen. Still have 2 backs in the backfield behind right. And he gives it to the second back through, and that is Baskerville. He'll get close to the 35-yard line.
Well, notice the same fullback again, and that time he laid the block on Josh Williams, number 11. Williams has had a pretty good night from his defensive end position, but if he was picking up 4 or 5 yards every play with the same formation, that's going to do it in the third quarter, Paul. 13-12, Phantoms.
From Darling Stadium, October the 10th, 2014, at the end of the third quarter, as Frank said, it's now Phoebus 13 and Bethel 12, as Phoebus came out in the third quarter, scored first, and they've held the Bethel Bruins at bay. In fact, they haven't been anywhere near the goal line in this quarter.
Well, with the running games going for both clubs, the clock's running very quickly. So you'll see that we didn't get but a couple possessions for each team there in the third quarter.
And I'm sure there probably was a pass, but I don't remember a pass in the third quarter. Let me check with Brent Musgrove here and see if they had any passes in the third quarter. He's saying, wait a minute, wait a minute.
While we're doing that, Jeremy Blunt talking to his team. There's Harry Lewis, number 70. Good shot of Mr. Lewis. A fine young man he is. I got to see him last spring, give the invocation at the school board meeting and talk to him a little bit about his choice of Virginia Tech. a really nice selection for the young man from Phoebus High School. There's a good picture of the fullback, Jalen Holloway, who's had such a great night tonight.
Only one pass in the third quarter, and that was a touchdown pass.
There you go.
Everything
Jacques
else was
Moore
on the
Roberts.
ground. So we'll start the fourth quarter here at Darling Stadium. Phoebus with the ball, gives it to Becknell around the left-hand side, and he'll get down near the 30-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds.
Did not get the first down. Real good defense by the Bruins that time. They knew where he was going. In fact, you follow the fullback, you know where he's going. But that time, the line stretched that play out. Linebacker's able to get over there and catch Becknell before he's able to turn the corner. 4th and 2, a big play here for the Bruins.
Phoebus going for it with 2 receivers down at the bottom of the screen. Becknell gets it, and he's not going to get the first down. He's dropped for a loss on 4th down, and the Bethel Bruin defense has held the Phantoms here as the fourth quarter begins. And they'll get the ball in their own territory. 1st and 10.
Big play by Aaron Edwards. Big play is that once again Holloway into the line, laid out a good block. Becknell probably just a step or two too far behind his blocker. And Edwards able to shoot through and flatten the talented running back Jamari Becknell.
Quick stats here. Phoebus 10 penalties for 63 yards in the game. Bethel 5 penalties for 35 yards. And that includes all those ones that were half the distance, half the distance, half the distance.
I have to get Brent to tell us how many yards Becknell has absent that one long run.
Bo Morgan will try and bring Bethel out of their own territory here. He'll take the ball. Look, he's looking to pass. Goes down the right side. He's got an open receiver deep, but so is the ball, and we've got a late flag by the ref.
Now, it wasn't late. He saw it. The hand was pulling the jersey about 10 yards downfield, and he saw it. The side judge could not see it, but I could see it from this side.
I could see
no
it
question.
Too.
15-yard penalty there.
Let's see what Bob has down on the field there, Bob.
Hey, guys, you got to take your hats off to the Bethel defense. They did a great job on 4th down and stopping that. But, you know,
defense. Pass interference.
Phoebus
15
Phantoms
yards from the
are
previous
just
spot.
shooting themselves in the foot.
1st and 10.
You can't grab
Bethel.
the jersey of a guy going down. You're in a bubble. Everybody sees you. This could come down to the penalties hurting Phoebus tonight.
It really is. That helps the Bruins, brings them out near midfield.
Yeah, and Bob, you are wrong. You are wrong. You can grab the guy's jersey. You're just going to get called if you get caught. Morgan hands it off and back to the line of scrimmage.
And Breon Baskerville single-handedly broke up that play. That was starting to look good, but the 200-pound senior pushed his blocker back and was able to peel him off and make the stop. There was a big hole there. Becknell 15 carries on 126 yards, so 14 carries for the difference between, 41 yards.
Yeah.
14 for 41 and 1 for 85 or whatever it was.
Man.
And this is the man that averages, this is his average per game, 124 yards. So he's at 126 now, but one long run. Of course, he had 200 yards against the Crabbers 2 weeks ago.
Yes, he did.
3 big carries there.
Morgan drops back to throw, looks left, can't find anybody, rolls right, comes back the middle, throws short, and it's off the hands of Bruin number 90. It's on the second page here. I'll find that.
Josh
Owusu.
Well, the defense that time for the Phantoms was terrific. Nelson had the deep receiver. Robinson had one. I think that was that on the other side for the Phantoms. Maybe Marcus Lewis had the other one with the safety Chris Wilson stepping up.
Big play here for the Bethel Bruins. 3rd down and 9. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. Only one runner beside Morgan. Morgan back to pass. He's being pressured. He gets loose. Gets pressured again, and he's going to try and run, but he is held up and brought down just over midfield. He does not get the first down. Could not find an open receiver.
That's why you run those drills in the fall where you put the weight behind them and let them run with a parachute or something where they can, because that time he had Harry Lewis dragging behind him. Not able to get him up to the first down marker. That time, if Morgan doesn't slow to look again right before he crossed the line of scrimmage, he'd have had the first down. But that little slow, the little stutter by Morgan allowed Harry Lewis to catch him.
Bethel back to kick off now. From about the 41. Nice punt. Nice punt. And they're going to, Bethel's going to down it at about the 2 or 3 yard line. Looks like the 2 yard line. Great coverage by the Bruins as Robbie Robinson decided to let that one go.
Well, he knew I'm surprised he didn't get a penalty, but we're pushing the defender. But he didn't, and a good play by the Bruins as they pinned the Phantoms back. Bruins trying to win this game of field position. They trail by 1 here, and we're moving quickly through the 4th quarter, Paul. Only a little under 9 minutes left. And Phoebus with their running attack can take up a lot of time here. Bruins are going to have to be aware of that. Ball on the 2. Second worst field position that they've had tonight.
Bethel is going to have to step it up right here. They need to hold the Phantoms so that they can get the ball back on offense in good field position. Let's see what happens.
Jock Moore Roberts in the tight end spot on the left side. Bethel's got to be aware he's there.
Justin Wright under center. He takes it himself right up the middle, and he'll get across the 5 to about the 6 yard line. A nice little hole right there for Wright.
Good play by the center, Savion Powell. Able to create the hole there real quick. Good move by the Phantoms. Picked up almost 5 yards. There's a good picture of Harry Lewis, number 70.
Yeah, big guy.
Tell you,
good athlete.
I'm going to miss him.
Oh, look at this shot that we have there. Boy, look at that shot. That must be our director and producer, Andy Foley, who made that decision. Great move. The ball goes to Becknell. He gets swarmed at about the 7 or 8.
Again, good job by the Bruins to hold up the line, not giving Becknell an obvious opening. Now Baskerville comes in to replace Becknell for 3rd down. Baskerville outweighs him just a bit. Becknell 170, Baskerville 200.
3rd down, and I'm going to stretch that to be a long 3. Phantoms at the line of scrimmage, right under center. Hand it to Becknell. He goes through that hole, and he's going to be stopped by the Bruins. He's going to be well short of the 1st down, and it's going to bring up 4th and about 4 for the Phantoms, deep in their own territory from about the 8 yard line.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay. It looked like a little slow development. Once again, the fullback out in front. It just seemed to take Baskerville a few extra steps, and then nothing there. Couldn't get around the outside and had to go back in, and where he met all those green shirts. Aaron Edwards, excuse me, with another great play.
Nice job of fighting off the blocker and sliding over to get to the running back. From the end zone, the Phantoms will punt.
Elijah Nelson.
The punt is up.
Good idea to punt it away from Brown.
He's going to pick it up at the 42, and he's going to get a few yards before he is stopped at about the 38, 39 yard line. I thought he was going to let it go for a minute. He picked it up at the last second and picked up about 4 or 5 yards.
He's played well. He certainly is not averse to contact, is Darryl Brown.
A big series coming up here for the Bethel Bruins, who are down by a score of 13-12. Real quickly, I want to thank our camera crew, Randy Bagoli, Susan Bowers, Nathaniel Braxton, and Steve Fryer. Our graphics and animation, Matt Buckwalter. Slow motion and instant replay, Krista Campbell. The camera control operator, Renee Camden. Chief engineer, Don Scharouse. Audio, Greg Lesko. The director and executive producer, Andy Foley. Morgan gives it to, looks like Lee, and he'll push it down near the 30-yard line for a nice gain for the Bruins.
Well, that time, is it Tanaz Jordan had come in, number 27, had come in for Bethel, and he acted as a fullback and created a little bit of space for Lee. Lee's played a whale of a game tonight. Quentin Lee, a senior, 5'10", 210 pounds.
And we've got a timeout on the field. Now we're going to be running.
Or as we used to say, time back in.
Time back in. Timeout, time in, timeout, time in. Now we're going to get another timeout.
Everybody testing their whistles out there. Be sure they work. It looks like they do.
What is going on?
Oh, my God.
Quentin Lee with 24 carries and 103 yards, Frank.
No.
Tim Ewing, our timekeeper down there, trying to figure out where to switch it on or off. Thank goodness for Tim. He's a veteran.
Morgan gets it, hands it off quickly. Once again to Lee. He spins around. He gets down to about the 28-yard line. Just about 28.
Well, Lee once again just following his blockers. And Bethel getting a push.
This is going to be a crucial play right here, Frank. 3rd and short for the Bethel Bruins. They're going to need to get this first down if they want the drive to continue.
And Rodney Addison, Corey Ricks on the left side. They're going to go behind him again. Tanaz Jordan again leading the way.
He's going to be, I think he's going to get it.
If he's in there somewhere, he's got it.
He's going to get it.
Jordan has really played well tonight, and this time they've substituted him in almost as a flanker, but he's come in and made some lead blocks for Quentin Lee.
Lee becoming the workhorse for this Phoebus Phantom offense. Here you see him right there from a great ground level shot.
That time
he just
Lee
keeps those feet moving. Look at that.
I don't know if you noticed, but that time Lee actually pushed Jordan through the line, put his helmet right on his back and went through with him.
First down now for the Bruins. Bo Morgan takes it, gives it again to Becknell, who gets to about the 25-yard line for a pickup of about a yard.
There's a reason Virginia Tech wants Harry Lewis on their team, and that's an example right there. Lewis quickly through the line and brings Lee down from behind, and Lee only picked up 6 inches, so that shows you how quick Harry Lewis was into the backfield.
Well, they're going to spot that one right at 25. I thought he'd fallen over that, so it'll be no gain. It'll be back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd down for the Bruins now. Remember, they're going to need to get it at least close enough for a field goal.
Well, we've seen some leg strength out of the kicker, so they're close to being in range.
2 receivers up to the top of the screen. Morgan with the ball. He goes back to pass. He's looking to the left side. He's throwing it up to number 10, who's got it in the end zone. It is a touchdown for the Bruins. Number 10, Darrell Brown, the man we've been looking for all night long. A great touch pass by Bo Morgan, who just puts it up in the end zone to Brown.
Darrell Brown, the top receiver for the Bruins, came in tonight with 22 catches for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. They had him a 5th there. That's just good position. The defensive back wasn't watching the play. Oh, they're going to bring it back? What are they doing here? They're going to bring it back? We'll get the signal from Mr. Denton.
We missed something here, folks. Let's see what it was.
It's a flag on the far side, just picked up on the line of scrimmage. Coach Hooker is going to be beside himself.
Ineligible receiver, downfield offense. 5-yard penalty.
Boy,
Still
that's a
second down.
tough call. We'll see where it is. One of the linemen got too far downfield. Boy, that's a costly penalty. Brilliant play by Darrell Brown as he just tap danced in the corner. Here's a replay. Look for the lineman, one of the 5 linemen there.
I didn't see him.
Number 77.
Bethel.
Travis Maxwell was no more than a yard downfield. I'm stunned.
How many yards do you have to go?
We got a lot of upraised hands here from Phoebus and Bethel coaches trying to figure out where that one was. Brent Musgrove relaying that one of the points of emphasis in the officiating has been not to call a play such as that didn't figure into it. Bob, what do you got down there?
Listen, guys, the Bruins had to call timeout that time because they didn't have but 10 guys on the field, but that pass was right on the money. The ineligible guy was on the other side of the field. Nobody saw him. So, you know, one of these things that you just – penalties keep shooting you in the foot. It happened to Phoebus early. Maybe this is when it happens to the Bruins.
We didn't see that receiver either, Bob. We've looked at him on the replay and couldn't see him anywhere. We did see a lineman on the far side who looked like he was about 1.5 yards past the line of scrimmage, but we couldn't see anybody else.
Well, you got a guy that's his job, that linesman, that's his job to make sure nobody goes downfield that's ineligible.
Well, that was Maxwell no more than 1 yard over the line, and it's because he had pushed his man down, and that cost the Bruins.
All right, let's see what happens here as Morgan gets it. He goes back to throw again. He throws short to the receiver who's hit before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
That's Tanaz Jordan with the catch. And a good catch considering Baskerville leveled him as soon as he touched the leather of the football.
Big penalty against the Bruins, bringing that ball back, and that's like deflating on a balloon that has gone up to wherever.
Now Hooker is, as he says, he shoves his receiver back out there. I don't think he's a happy man right now.
Not at all. Big play for the Phantoms.
Bethel lined up about 10 yards too far to the south. Now they go over there.
Spread offense. Morgan takes it back. You know he's looking deep. Now he's rushed. He's hit, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield near the 40-yard line, bringing up 4th and real long for the Bethel Bruins, and they're going to have to punt it back to the Phoebus Phantoms.
It took them right out of field goal range, and that hurts. I know Coach Hooker is beside himself. In fact, he is by himself walking up and down the line. Nobody dare get near him.
And we may have them go for it. I'm looking at the
Yeah, I don't think they have much of a choice. I don't think they had a kicker could kick the 47 or 57-yarder.
Bob, what have you got?
Hey guys, they're going to go for the play because it's in 4-down territory. You got to go for it. You have less than 3 minutes to go in the game. This is your last hurrah down here.
And their last hurrah is ending right there as the Phantoms sack Bo Morgan again.
And who was that that made the stop? Number 70, Harry Lewis. He's been a thorn in the backfield this whole second half.
And this whole defense for the Phantoms, Bob, has really stepped it up in the second half, and they have played a whale of the game. As you can see, Bethel has not been able to put any points on the board because of the Phoebus defense tonight.
And it all goes back to field position. Bethel had the field position, but just couldn't take advantage of it.
Exactly. Right. And, of course, that penalty, which really brought the ball back and really shot a hole in the foot of the Bethel Bruins.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say may have cost them the game. That's just a disheartening call.
Wright gives it to Becknell, and he gets around the left-hand side, and I expect to see Becknell and Baskerville kind of run this game out as we've got about 2 minutes and 20 seconds left here at Darling Stadium, October the 10th, 2014. I want to thank the crew that's been with us tonight. They've done a great job. My partner, Frank Edgar, up here, along with Brent Musgrove, doing the stats, and Bob Hintz on the field. All the camera people, Randy Bagoli, Susan Bowers, Nathaniel Braxton, Steve Fryer, Matt Buckwalter doing the graphics and animation that you see up on the screen, Krista Campbell and all the wonderful replays. She does a fantastic job. Renee Camden, who controls the cameras, Don Sherrouse, chief engineer, Greg Lesko, in audio, and, of course, Andy Foley, the director, the producer, the big man himself, doing everything down in the truck and making this thing run like it's supposed to.
I think they get the first down, so that's going to really hamper the Bruins getting the ball back. They're going to need a turnover here.
And speaking of turnover, we're going to need to turn over the fact that we're going to have some players of the game, Frank. And you mentioned a couple of guys earlier.
Well, for Bethel, I mean, I could give it to the line, especially for the first half performance. But Quentin Lee had just an outstanding night tonight.
Did.
And so I think Quentin Lee gets the T-shirt for the Bruins. For the Phantoms, it's just been a grinder of a game tonight. Justin Wright has not gotten, as we say, he's not gotten flapped. He's unflappable.
Yeah.
And he's played very steady. There goes Becknell through the line. Harry Lewis has played extremely well in the second half. You know, he was missing in a defensive series there toward the end of the first, so much so that I asked if he was okay, but he has played beautifully here in the second half.
And not just him, but the whole Bethel defense. And I like defense, and I like that. So if you wanted to go that direction, that would be fine with me because of what they've done in the second half.
I'm quite fond of Harry Lewis. The way he plays the game of football, we've seen him for now 4 years, and he has played very well in that last drive.
Well, there you go. Let's do it.
Harry Lewis gets the T-shirt. Hope it's a big one. An extra large for that young man.
Clock winding down, under 30 seconds here, almost, and Becknell gets it. Becknell had 20 carries and 145 yards. How many did he get on that one?
Timeout.
Not many.
Not many.
May have lost one.
May have lost one. He lost one, so now it's 144 yards.
Well, Becknell's been under control. That one broken field, that one run, that running broken field, I mean, he went through the hole and was gone. Becknell had another great night statistic-wise, but the fact is the Bruins have done a great job of shutting him down. And I know you say, gosh, how do you shut him down, Frank, when he had 145 yards? Well, 85 of them came on one play. And given what we've seen from the Phantoms this year, very impressive defensive performance by the Bruins.
It has, and I want to explain something to people that are watching this tonight. When we give you players of the game and you then hear us see or say something like 145 yards, why didn't he get player of the game? Well, we try to spread this out over the course of the year and give different players the privilege of being the player of the game. And Becknell has received this honor before. So tonight, the defense really did a stand-up job, and Lewis did a tremendous job making a big difference in the second half. And so we're putting it to someone who deserved it tonight, even though Becknell did have a great say-so in this game.
It's a 13-12 game, and you got teams that average in Bethel averaging 23 points a game. There's a good pass out.
Phoebus with a pass.
That's Jock Moore-Roberts again. How many passes have they completed? I don't think they've thrown but 5 or 6, and Moore-Roberts, he's caught 2. He may have caught all of them. I was saying that Phoebus scores 33 points a game, Paul.
Yes.
Bethel scores 24 points a game, and
tonight.
look, it's a 13-12 game, so you can tell the defense has been the dominant player tonight.
Well, both defenses came to play tonight, and I applaud both teams for the game that has been held here tonight at Darling Stadium. It's been extremely good. 6, 5, 4, 3. It's going to end. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phoebus Phantoms, a great comeback in the second half here at Darling Stadium to score the only points in the second half and win this game by 1 point with a score of 13-12. What a defensive contest. What a great played game, except for all the penalties. I know that sounds funny.
But for that, Ms. Lincoln, that was a play.
It was a great
No,
game.
it was tough defense.
Really was.
You see the two coaches shake hands. I know Coach Hooker will not sleep tonight. No. It will haunt him for a while. But he's got to be pleased with how his Bruins came out and played against a championship squad. This Phoebus team still has players from those championship seasons on it, Harry Lewis and Breon Baskerville, just to mention two. And so you saw them come back in the whole 12-0 and came back and won this game. That's a sign of a well-coached squad. And both teams played well, and it's good handshakes of respect there.
It really is.
Peninsula District football alive and well.
Yes, it is. Right here at Darling Stadium, October the 10th, 2014. 13-12, the Phoebus Phantoms take the Bethel Bruins. Phoebus goes now to 6-1. Bethel drops to 3-4. Our sponsor tonight, Frank, was
the Grey Goose. Phil and Dana Epstein, downtown Hampton. Get down there tomorrow night, 5:30 and 7:30 for Everybody Murders Lucy, apparently.
And people, thank you very much for watching us, LSC, for Peninsula District football here on LSC. I'm Paul Rowe for Frank Edgar. Down on the field, Bob Hinson. Up in the booth, Brent Musgrove. And for all the others on the camera and in the truck, thank you very much from LSC. And we'll see you next time there's another game here at Darling Stadium between the schools of the city of Hampton. Good night, everybody.
Good night.